What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, bro?
Man, everything's good, bro. It was a great weekend.
Yeah, I had a good time.
About to say, man,
Yeah,
it was a great weekend, man. We all back in the building.
Spent
Everybody
some
alive.
Time with friends.
You know?
Not the result I was looking for out of Pittsburgh's football team, but
Here you go. Don't do that.
it's preseason.
Don't do that. Don't
I'm
do that.
further
Don't
removed
do
from the
that.
game,
Don't do that. Don't do
and
that.
I'm just gonna tell myself the truth, and it's only preseason. A lot of things I didn't like in the game, though.
You know we got plenty we're gonna talk about. I ain't even want to get to the game yet. Outside of the game there?
Yeah,
Everything
solid.
was
So,
there it is.
so
I like it. You making me nervous, Deke. You know I get nervous anytime we got these type of games that take place with, the familiarity of opponents like that, man. I never know your energy. I always feel like it's really negative towards, how it goes like that sometimes.
Well,
man.
yeah, I think that's a given. I don't like the Bills, but I think my focus in particular with this last performance I just saw is directed towards us and what we need to do.
Okay.
Yeah, we really got to start locking in here.
All right, respect. All right, what they say, shout out to the preseason, man. This is the chance to get it all out, all your good, hopefully not all your good, but get all your bad out now. If you're going to have any bad plays, get it out now. So hopefully once the regular season starts, we won't be seeing as much of the not so good stuff that's taking place at times in these games, man.
That's
But it
definitely
is
a way to look
preseason,
at
bro.
it for
It's
sure.
preseason,
And
man.
Yep, that's a way to look at it. And these games don't count. So
Nah.
You're right. If you're going to be trying some stuff out, preseason is a good place to do it. If you're going to be doing some bad things, preseason is a good place to be doing it. If you want to hold back all of your good stuff, preseason is a good place to do that.
I would agree.
If you don't want to show too much.
Some might say that could have been the case last year. We blew it all in preseason. Canada opened up the bag, all the good plays, all the execution, everything just, we blew it too soon. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Right.
But this year is definitely a little bit different of an approach, though, I feel like.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we're just doing the extreme opposite from last year.
It was
Like we're so scarred with how everything played out.
Because
Let's look really bad.
You could make a case that
Let's look
last year.
incompetent.
You could make a case that last year was a perfect preseason. I mean, every single drive was touchdowns,
5
no
for 5,
turnovers,
first team
like
offense, 5 touchdowns.
yeah, like we looked sharp. We was like, oh, all right. And then we obviously saw how it played out once the season got here. We were kind of like, yo, how do we get back to what it looked like in the preseason now that the regular season is here? So hopefully, it's just some of that going on, man. But like I said, man, we're going to talk about all of it. Yeah. Because, yeah. That's the
I'm
purpose of the
going with,
preseason.
like, right now, we're 2 days removed. I'm going with, it's preseason.
Okay.
It's preseason.
So when you say as preseason, what does that mean for you?
I mean, so let me just use Russ as an example. We'll use the starting off as an example.
Yeah, for sure.
We only got 4 series. Like, they got pulled. So, in a regular season game, we see them play out the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter. Like, get into that rhythm and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, to have Russ out there for his first time in a new system with Arthur Smith and everything, new players and all that, and only get 4 series, like, it didn't look the prettiest, but I could also see how it's just like, all right, it's tough to get into a rhythm. And then watching it back, though, I don't know what I think in the moment I was expecting everything on offense to, especially with Russ getting his first start, everything to look better than what it was last year.
Yeah.
Because of Arthur Smith,
Mm-hmm.
because of Russell Wilson, because of the new O-line. And for us not to get that right away, yeah, I was pretty bummed. I'm like, wait, what? We could have been doing this same thing that we were doing last year with like this is basically the same offense. This is the same stuff. Check downs, lackluster. So then I was like, I'm just gonna get hyped for Fields now. You know what, Russ? If you're gonna be playing like this, we might seriously need to be looking at Fields to be QB1. So he'll give us the ceiling. He'll give us the running ability, all that stuff. Like, just more dynamic play, especially if the offensive line's going to look like this too. At least he could escape the pocket better. And then Fields started off not so bad, but then he looked worse than Russ. So then at the end of the game, I was just like, I'm throwing my hands up, man. I'm like, it might be time to tank for Fedor. So like that's what I'm saying. Like I had just a very wide range of emotions.
You
and
went
then,
there to there to
like, yeah, I'm just like, I don't know if we have a quarterback at all here. Like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, we moved off of Kenny and Mason for this right now. Like, are these guys even better? Like, my God. And then I rewatched it. I'm like, you know what? We'll be all right. Russ looked pretty good.
I love
Russ
it,
will
bro.
be QB1. Russ was fine.
I love it,
Didn't
man.
get good help from the other line.
I mean, that
Looked like he was still in control.
Yeah.
Whereas Fields, he was too sporadic, too inconsistent. But I guess back to your question about why do I say, it's only preseason. It's just, it's all that. It's like, this is Russ's first time out there. Yeah. Maybe we aren't really trying to give our best stuff right now. We're trying to work out certain kinks. Like, there was a plan going in. Like, we want to find this out. We don't care about the result of all this stuff, but we want to maybe work on this certain scheme or this certain formation. Yeah. Like, I just think there's so much stuff going on behind the scenes that we probably don't know what's being talked about between Arthur Smith, the offense, quarterbacks, all that. But yeah, I also say it's just preseason because it doesn't count, and we got to see us be awesome in the preseason for the last 2.5, 3 years, and not get results. You have Kansas City's 0-2 in preseason right now. Bengals 0-2 in preseason. Yeah. I think someone made a comment on one of my videos when we won Super Bowls. We were 0-3 in preseason.
Yeah,
I liked what I saw from the first team defense, but then the second and third team defense, they were getting out physical. I didn't like that, but then you just got to think to yourself, we probably shouldn't be seeing these guys anyway to begin with. First team defense for us, first 2 series. You look at that. I liked what I saw. Yeah, and we were still missing. So I mean, TJ wasn't even out there. I don't think Cam was out there. Yeah.
Which was odd because we did have Minka out there.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't like that.
Yeah, I was like, I get Highsmith. We know, he was working back through, I forgot what he was dealing with at training camp, but he's been working back from that. So I was like, I get that part. TJ, Cam, cool. But I was like, why am I seeing Minka? I don't need to see that one. He's a part of that group. Like, when they don't play, he doesn't play. Yeah, so that was my only thing with that. But I like what you're seeing.
Yeah, so my expectations went just all over the place Saturday night.
Respect.
I needed some time to get removed from the situation, and okay, we're good. We're good. We still got another preseason game ahead of us. This ain't the end of the world. I mean, honestly, with Russ in that first team offense, technically it should have been 3 points. Boz is in preseason form right now, obviously.
Hey, chill. Why Boz got to get that one? It was for 52. Come on, man. You get slack or 50 plus. It's preseason. He hit the other one, though. He did hit the other one when it mattered.
They both matter. Not really, though. It's preseason.
It's preseason, right?
So that's where I'm at.
I like it, bro. I like it. Yeah. The fact that you...
I still thought... here's the thing, though. I will say it's just preseason. It's whatever. The game doesn't count. We still should have looked better than that.
Fair enough.
As a whole. But when I'm looking at the first team, I'm looking at Russ, the first team.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the first team defense. I'm like, we could work with this. We could definitely work with this going into week 1. Didn't like the other 75%. I didn't like even the first team offense, but probably about 70-80% of the game I was disgusted with. But then whenever you look at it and say 75-80% of this game is with players that we're probably not going to be seeing anyway. Yeah. Okay. Let me see what players we will be we'll be out there week 1. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me watch them a little bit more. We could work with this. Look at more of the context of the situation. We'll be all right. We'll be fine.
Respect.
Yeah. I was gonna buy a Rush jersey actually. Coming in today.
Oh.
I was ready to rock it.
You're like,
plant
the flag.
I saw what I needed to see.
Okay.
I saw what I needed to see.
Okay.
O-line needs to pick it up a little bit. Running game needs to pick it up a little bit.
Okay.
We'll be all right. I like that throw to Pickens down the sideline.
Respect. How'd you feel about the challenge on it?
You know what? It was actually closer to a catch than I initially thought. Whenever you really slow it down, but when they showed the first replay of it, I'm like, wait, what? There's no shot in hell this is a catch. Why are we challenging this and we didn't challenge the Van Jefferson one? Because the Van Jefferson one, I'm thinking, is Tomlin just not going to throw challenge flags in preseason? Does he just not want to do that? But then obviously he challenges it for this one. I'm like, wait. The other one was way closer of a catch. What are we doing?
Wait on, man. Hold on. Yeah,
he might just like Pickens more.
Oh, man.
Doesn't have as much faith in Van Jefferson with those acrobatic catches.
The way that Omar has been moving with this Aiyuk situation, I think that, that's a fair assessment. Maybe they do believe in GP a little bit more. So, yeah, let him get the challenge, man. Yeah, we ain't worried about this other guy over here just yet. Respect him,
What are your thoughts?
I mean, we finna get in. We gonna talk. I didn't know you was gonna give us all of that. I thought like it was gonna be like the quick yeah, but we're gonna get to it. Like you gave us like some stuff right there, bro. Like that's a fire intro, Deke. Fire intro. Cause you hit on like where you took us, bro. You broke down the emotional roller coaster. Like, I'm with you. I've experienced. You said you was on that rush. Then you was like, yo, let me get that feels. Then it was like, yo, for that feels, it was like, no, bro, we got to go back to rest. Then it was like, yo, what's Shador? And then from there, you was like, all right.
No, it was Shador before rest.
Oh, excuse me, Shador before rest.
Now
then you back on rest. And then he was like,
yep.
yo, I'm getting the jersey. Like, yo, you was all the way back. Like, morale's back good. I just love it, man. I love all that, man, because that's how it's supposed to be, man. If it matters to you, it's going to be like that at times, man. But, salute, bro. Salute. So, yeah, man, we definitely going to talk because everything that you was hitting on, I want to talk about even more, but we're going to break it down a little bit, you know what I mean, and get into some of these a little bit more because it's a lot more nuanced with some of this stuff, whether we're talking the QB situation, offensive line, how we feel about these tackles going forward, some shuffling on the offensive line, too. We know that Nate Herbig is potentially going to miss a substantial amount of time right now, man. So that's even changing how we look at that position. So, yeah, man, we got to talk. And then we're still, I guess, all on the hook waiting on the Brandon Aiyuk situation. And the reason why I say we are still on the hook because regardless of if we care or not at this point, the Steelers have not rescinded any offer or agreement, and we know at times...
And Aiyuk hasn't agreed to anything with the Niners.
So until that comes to a head, we still are very much invested in the Brandon Aiyuk sweepstakes, and that's not me talking, that's the organization speaking. So, yeah, we're obviously going to have to talk about how we feel about everything still surrounding that. I thought that was going to be done last weekend, man. Shoot, when were AB and Jerry Rice, they was putting all that... Was that Wednesday last week? Because it was before we even talked.
I don't remember. It's all blurred at this point.
Yeah, man. And we're still...
It all blends together.
Look, what did he wear today? Did he have black on today? About to say, we still checking his outfit and stuff while he's out there. But yeah, man. So, like I said, man, we're going to chop into all that. So, let's go ahead and start it like how we always do. Go ahead and drop it in the comment section where you are tuning in from. And in that way, we'll give you those big boy shout outs to start today's show. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Yeah, baby. I like your energy though, man. I like when you come here like this, Deke. I like it. Let's go, man. It's a great day, man. It's a great day.
Yeah, as crazy as it sounds.
It's a great day today, bro.
Even though I said Justin Fields is QB1 probably... An hour into the game, I'm good with Russ as QB1. And I'm actually to the point where I'm about to buy a Russ jersey.
I just love it, bro. I love it. I don't know how we got here, but I love it, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy with Russ not even playing that well. But I saw what I needed to see.
Yeah.
It's not all about the stats.
There were certain nuggets that were delivered
out
out there.
I saw what I needed to see from Russ.
There were certain
especially
nuggets that were delivered,
when you compare him to Fields as well.
Yeah. Definitely certain nuggets that we're going to have to talk about, man.
All right, we got Brobarian.
Shout out to the Brobarian.
Tuning in from the crib.
Yes, sir. 757. If you know,
Chesapeake.
you know. Mm-hmm.
Tito Good Vibes from 817 Fort Worth, Texas. Funky Town.
Let's go, Tito. Always appreciate you being in the building. You know that.
Zach 4499 603 Durham, New Hampshire, baby.
Oh, shout out to Durham, New Hampshire.
What up, Jules from the 480 Phoenix, Arizona. Happy Monday, fellas.
Hey, happy Monday to you as well. Let's get it. It is a Monday, huh? Shoot, it's Monday. Deke school about to start up for these little ones in 2 days. I had to go meet some teachers today, bro. It's a vibe right now, man. Let's get it.
KJ Shadow 530 Yuba City, California.
Hey, shout out to Yuba City.
President Nettie 419.
Man, let me tap in real quick because I got the homie AJ Martinez in Arizona in the house. Salute you, AJ. Always glad to have you. GTZ Time Sloth 561 in the 561 Palm Beach, Florida. Shout out to Palm Beach. And I see you, Savian Llanos, over in the 817 Grand Prairie, Texas. Mike Lang in the 336 Greensboro, North Carolina. And then the homie Mike P in the 713 Houston. And I'm going to end it with the homie, the one and only Ramsey Sala in the 559 Fresno, California. Shout out to Fresno, baby. You love to see it. You love to see it. All right. It's be a good one. All right. So we'll see what the Super has initially, and then from there, man, I can help us direct this thing through.
Works for me.
Because we talking.
Ramsey Sala says Broderick Jones should be on the bench to start.
Dang, that's the Super he came with? Oh, I guess it is, yeah. Shout out to Ramsey. It was a couple that came early. I'll get them in a second. All right, he wants to start with Broderick there. Whew, no warm-up to this one, huh?
Based off his preseason, sure. Like I said, though, even going back to last year, maybe just preseason isn't his thing.
This could be true.
I mean, it's not something I'm happy about. It's
I was like that's a dangerous game, bro.
You got people to protect still in preseason. Like, you still got a quarterback behind you. You still got a running back. It's like that still affects them. Like, these are your teammates here.
It affects them greatly.
Right?
Just like, man, you don't care about these quarterbacks? You don't like these running backs? Like, I don't know. What's going on, man? I get his preseason.
That or he's playing. He just plays that bad in preseason. It's either he doesn't care or he's that incompetent in preseason, or I guess he might be banged up. I don't know. Is he a little hurt?
Look, man, I was over here going through my Rolodex of like reasons while the game was going on. I'm like, bad matchup. You know, that's my go-to. Bad matchup. Gregory Rousseau, long, talented, up and coming, stud pass rusher. Bad matchup. But then I say, no. Gregory Rousseau is good, but he ain't that good just yet. But then it wasn't that one per se that kind of got me. The two reps where we really saw, Gregory kind of have his way with Broderick. That wasn't the case. It was when Rousseau went out and the rookie went over there, Solomon. And he was also able to turn around and have success against Broderick and get a sack as well. That was the one where I was just like, yo, we can't have you looking like this right now. Now, is it the arm? I thought that the brace was more so a precaution, nothing important. But if that is what is going on, you need to communicate and speak up and get off that field until you are healthy. Because that can't be the take if you are starting right or left tackle, because Gregory Rousseau is a good player, Deke, but is Gregory Rousseau the best outside linebacker DN type that he's going to face this year if he's starting at right or left tackle? No. Is Solomon, I don't want to butcher my young rookie's name. Shout out to the young rookie, by the way. But in terms of Javon Solomon, that was the other guy that got a sack on Broderick. I think Broderick's going to face a lot better competition than him as well. It can't look like that. And that was my day, man. So I'm like, if it is truly the elbow, you're compromised with your arm, we do see you have a brace on. If that is the case, like we said, man, do what you need to do to get back healthy. Don't go out there and put that on tape. Now, if it's mentally you don't lock in the preseason, I think that still has some concerns, because now I'm like, you're picking and choosing. And as you broke down, it affects more than just you. We see Russ get hit multiple times, man. You do not want your quarterback taking them type of shots, regardless of Russ, Fields, any of them dudes back there. It just can't happen. And then it's like you said, man, or not like you said, but also it's like once you do that, we can't unsee those plays. So now we're all
like how else am I supposed to react? Like part of me, I'm coping a little bit now in a way. 2 days removed from the game, maybe not coping completely, but it is also the truth. It's just preseason, but we can only react to what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, it's not like I got a chance to watch you maul somebody and I'm like, hey, it's preseason. That dude won't go be out there. No ways, but Broderick, you at least look good. It's like, bro, you look like you was getting thrown out the club. Like they was having a party over there. That can't be the case. How are we supposed to feel confident in you if that's what it's looking like right now? Now, I don't anticipate that continuing, but that's the part where you're just like, can you show me something else to at least give us some more optimism right now? Because between what we saw from Troy last week and then him getting hurt, and now you see Broderick this week, and the reaction that I've seen was, man, you just got to start Troy at right, put Broderick at left, and it doesn't matter no more. It can't get any worse than this. And it's like, bro, we're talking about the two guys that have struggled in the preseason. Dan Moore's actually been fine.
Yep.
And now we're saying, yeah, just throw him out there because we're about to panic because of whatever is going on with my man Broderick. I'm just like, yo. So that's why I'm like, I'm hoping that the elbow might be a little more compromised. That's what I'm hoping. Like, yo, if it's that, then great. We can make sure that you rehab, do what you need to do. It at least gives us context. Because what we're seeing right now, without that context, it has us questioning, like, yo, are you regressing or do you just not have your heart in the preseason? And those are questions that we really don't want to be asking right now, man. Not while Troy is on the show and they saying that, oh, he's going to come out here and start week 1. And we saw what he looked like in preseason week 1. It's like, man.
Well,
yeah.
we might as well have Troy start week 1.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You said at least his against Hunter?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it didn't look as bad as Broderick yesterday or 2 days ago.
Versus a better player? Because Hunter is a lot more proven and accomplished than Greg, man.
At least you have a little bit better of an excuse for Fautano being his literal first game as an NFL player.
Yeah, that's my thing. I'm just like, man, I don't know.
But you're right. If Broderick's hurt, then we should start Fautano. Right. If he is ready, if Fautano is ready for week 1, then Broderick needs a couple more weeks to get ready. You just start Dan Moore at left and Troy at right, and then you figure it out after that.
And for me, it's been weird because we know obviously Dan Moore is the one who's come under fire the most throughout who we want to replace, who we need to upgrade for, and all these other things. But like I said, throughout these games, he's been playing consistent. Now, when we're looking at Broderick, I know some people are going to say, well, that's because he's playing out of position. I mean, sure, but where did he start last year for us on the offensive line? Right tackle. It wasn't like he started at left tackle last year for us. He was at right tackle. And we all said, what? Bro, he looks good. He looks fine. Shoot, if he need to stay, just stay the whole time. So now because we see him struggle like how he did, now it's like, oh, man, what are we doing? We playing him out of the wait. I've seen the Kevin Dotson. I've seen the Kendrick Green comparisons brought up all because of that game that just came up. Whereas last year, we weren't hollering this when Broderick took over for Chooks. It was like, yo, he looks good. He looks ready. But that's the part where I'm just like, yo, if it is an injury, communicate that with the team, man. Make sure they take care of you because that is not what you want out there, man.
Kevin Dotson comparisons are one thing, but Kendrick Green comparisons.
You know, they was trying to say they played him out of position, bro. They say he got sabotaged, bro.
That's too far.
They said he was sabotaged, man. They said he was sabotaged, bro.
You're not wrong, though. I'm seeing
the
chat bring up Kendrick Green.
This is and this is you know, I had to do my steal. I'm back in the studio. We was doing
the Kevin Dotson ones I can see. Like the Kevin Dotson ones make sense because now he's in a new situation. He's legitimately good, and Dotson was a fine player for us as is, even if he was playing out of position. So you could have said the same thing about Broderick Jones in his rookie year. No matter what, Broderick was a solid starting right tackle for us. Yeah. Were we playing him out of position? Could we be potentially doing him a disservice this offseason, having him switch back and forth between left and right? Maybe, but he's still, no matter what, if he's out on the field, he's going to be solid. He's going to be, yes, competitive and competent. Whereas Kendrick Green, that's not how it looked here.
I like how you said that.
But now, no. Here's the thing.
I like how you said that right there, bro.
Here's the thing.
Your media savvy is growing, all right? Just know. I'm peeping what you saying over there.
There were plays in Saturday night's game that were reminiscent of Kendrick Green, though, from Broderick.
This is fair. This is very fair. Listen, you know, I didn't even want to talk about. I was like, oh, how we get to that? Why is it?
How's it even possible?
That's what the thing I was saying.
With how big Broderick is, literally,
and I'm thinking of, you know, I know them boys over there in the Buffalo side, so I'm literally just like, how does this what I had? I did not see this coming. No, and then for it to happen on multiple occasions, it's just like, yo, something is off. Now, I've seen, and this is the other part too, man, because of, like I said, man, when the play looks like this, everybody starts getting pulled up, boys. So literally, they started bringing up that. Then they started attacking Pat Meyer. They say, yo, it's his fault. It was like, it's got to be his fault, man.
He can catch a stray. Yeah.
I'm just like,
I mean,
who is he blocking?
huh?
So he don't get no love for Dan Moore not messing up. Zach Frazier look good out there. That don't matter though, huh? But because these dudes look bad, hey, shoot him down for that. Don't give him no praise for them other dudes.
O-line as a whole was questionable.
It was, but I thought as a whole, our trenches, especially after that first unit, I thought that the Bills were just more physical in both elements, offense and defense in the trenches. I would say that for our offensive line, I thought that if we could have stayed on schedule, I would have rather seen what that run blocking would have looked like, because we did have the one play with Najee where it spit, but outside of that, we were always behind the sticks. So we never got it right. So we never got a chance where we could get any type of, let's see if it's a second and short. Let's see if we can actually run something right here. Open up this concept a little bit. We just never got that rhythm. And that's part of the O-line having to be a little bit more consistent on the front end. But like I said, man, we don't, like, when we get to the overreacting part, and I don't want to say overreact. I just feel like whenever one of our key players plays bad, we're looking for like reasons to like take it off of that person and send it elsewhere. And that's my only thing. It's like, man, Broderick out here playing the way that he did this game. We could seek comfort and say Pat Meyer, but at the same time, it's like, bro, Broderick, you're the one that's on this field. You're the guy that has the talent. You're the guy that we've already seen do this with the exact same coach versus better players all of last season. But now because you struggle in this game and it looks bad, now we're going to say, oh, it's that guy's fault now. That's the comfort I'm talking about.
We could say Pat Meyer's on the hot seat if the O-line doesn't improve this year.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
But, yeah, maybe
you see what I'm saying,
maybe
though?
blaming Pat Meyer for preseason game 2 and what Broderick did.
Point fingers at everybody else
that's
but these dudes out here. I'm like, am I missing something here? We know as just like my previous experience with the Steelers playing preseason, man, Coach Tomlin's like, I'm not scheming up anything. I'm trying to see who can win one-on-ones. That's the whole mindset. Offense, defense, special teams. Can you win a one-on-one? Now, some teams, they will scheme it up. Some teams will come out there and they're like, they trying to get matchups. And you're like, bro, you really doing this for a preseason game? And you'll look good in this setting. But when the actual regular season hits and it's time to do it for real, now that isn't as effective. But for us, that's what we on right now. So it's like, man, when the dude is struggling in this setting, man, that's more so, be a better one-on-one guy right now. And Broderick, you should be the best one-on-one guy that we got in our trenches in terms of offensive line. So that's why I'm like, if it's the elbow, man, just let them boys know that. So that way they could help you out. Whether that's having tight end, running back over there to chip for you. If you still want to go out there, you still going to play. Or, man, have them put somebody else in there, let you get right for these next 2 weeks. So week 1 in Atlanta, it's not looking like what we just saw versus the Bills, man.
Well, that's what Let's Go UW says here. He says on Jones, the elbow injury and brace clearly bothering him. Punch is ineffective and inaccurate. Hands way too high. Wide chest exposed. 3, using two-hand punch instead of independent hands, and hands get knocked down.
But at the same time, all of that sounds good. But let's be real. You ain't have any of that to say last year when Broderick did the exact same things and he was effective. That's why I was going back to the whole Pat Myers argument. We'll try to hype like these little technique things, right? And now we're going to point to that and say, yeah, that's Pat Myers' fault. But it was like, man, if this is what this guy has always done and has always had success playing like this because he's a very athletic tackle, big, powerful man, now what's the issue? I just feel like, man, we kind of having that big reaction for this instance right here. Because it did not look like this at any point in time last year in the regular season.
Yeah. Let's see what they say about Broderick.
It's going to get interesting, though, man. It's going to get interesting, man. But sticking with that, though, where does Dan Moore fall in this equation, do you, man?
Yeah.
Because they're saying Troy is supposed to start week 1 if he's healthy.
We still got to see what they say on Broderick. If he legitimately is hurt, I don't think we have an option other than to start Troy and Dan Moore.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess it would depend on how long Broderick's out, too. Like, if it's only like a week or two.
Because Broderick is talking elbow or arm. Troy is knee.
Yeah. I think that's the first order of business.
Yeah.
Broderick, is he injured? If he's not, I think Dan Moore has earned the right to start at left tackle up to this point.
Okay.
He's been at left tackle, not only this whole time this offseason, but this whole time for the last 3 or so years.
Since coming into this league, since dating back to this time, it was at Texas A&M. He's been left.
Maybe it's different
left.
if Broderick dominated at right tackle when he was out here and isn't showing that he might be banged up a little bit. Maybe that's a different story, where you're talking about a competition between him and Dan at left, or you're just going to start Broderick at right to begin with and give him the edge because he's the guy going into his second year versus Troy going into his rookie year. Yeah, I think Dan Moore's starting at left.
Okay. Like, for me, I don't know anything. I know if I'm leaning Dan at left, and if Broderick is healthy, I'm still putting him at right because he's already had success in the NFL playing right tackle.
Yeah, I think then you just have to ask what's the deal with that report then that came out last week with
Troy,
the Steelers saying they're starting Troy at right tackle no matter what.
Because that's the part that I'm like doesn't add up. I'm like, how do you get to that when even in his debut, it wasn't this like, perfect, clean game. We saw him also have some negative tape out there. But they both first rounders also. And eventually you got to get your guys out there. So I get it, man. But it's going to be interesting, though, man, to just see how they divvy those guys up. And then also, is it set in stone?
No,
because you can put Broderick at left, you put Troy at right, like some people in the chat suggest, and, you can do that. But if what we have seen this year becomes more of the norm from those two guys, where if we've never seen Dan Moore have tape that look like that, now I feel like we really got some craziness going on, man.
Yeah. If we're talking about trying to win the most games possible, starting off the season as strong as we can, that's the main reason why I'm leaning at Russell Wilson at quarterback. So I don't know why that reason would change for the offensive line.
Yeah.
So I think Dan Moore at left tackle probably would be the wisest play to start off with at week one. Whenever we're playing the Falcons.
When I was going to piggyback too, because I have seen people saying, "Well, why don't you put Dan Moore at right tackle?" Because we've never seen Dan Moore play right tackle and have success at right tackle. Shoot, ever. Collegiately, he was a left the whole time. Since he's come to Pittsburgh, he's been a left the whole time. We physically saw Broderick last year, once he took over for Chooks, start at right tackle and play in multiple games, including starting a playoff game, if I remember correctly. And he played well. So that's the part where I don't really see the whole point of just saying, man, F it, put Broderick at left, put Dan at right, just do it. Like, that logic doesn't really compute for me, and I think that you set yourself up for more negativity for these quarterbacks than you need to right now, man. It's like right now you at least got one part of the line kind of situated, and we're trying to figure out this right tackle spot. By default, because of, Herbig dealing with the injury, we're going to have the rookie Frazier being out there.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, how many pieces do we want to be worrying about right now?
And then
why are you going into the season early on, man?
And then for it to look like it did on Saturday night. Yeah, it's different if it wasn't as bad as it was. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm like, yo,
if it was maybe a slight hiccup here or there, but it was like pretty much the whole time the O-line was struggling.
You catch what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm all for, take Dan out if these dudes looked better than what he was looking at the exact same game. But it's like, bro, I'm looking at these plays and I'm like, okay, let me go down the list and look at each and every offensive lineman. Who got their block? Who didn't make their block? Oh, Dan made his block. Oh, Ozzie made his block. Oh,
and it's not like
Frazier made his block. Oh,
it's not like Daniels the right tackle, whoever it was,
bro,
last week was doing any better either against the Texans.
You catch what I'm saying? Like,
whether it was Troy or Broderick.
I was literally going back looking at every play. I'm like, yo, let's check it out. Let's look at the pressures, let's look at the sacks, and let's go individual by individual. Don't give me the it's a group project, man, because he got beat up on, so everybody sucked. No. He was straight. He had a couple plays here and there, but as a whole, it's like, yo, let's not act like it was that. And that was my whole issue with the whole Pat Meyer argument. Because I'm like, if I'm looking at these dudes and they're making that part, but this guy's the one that's kind of having the bad, and it's collapsing everything. It's like, yo, is that a whole unit or is that an individual? And that's kind of why I'm looking like, yo, if it's the elbow, man, let's work.
Yeah, it felt like it was Broderick in the pass protection. I think
Right.
the line as a whole wasn't great in the run block.
Yes, they didn't get movement. I would agree with that 100%. Yeah.
All right, you said you had some supers?
Yes, yeah. This came from KJ Shadow. Man, KJ Shadow was dropping supers, Deke, no exaggeration. 2:32 a.m., 2:38 a.m., 2:56 a.m., 3:10 a.m., and 3:58 a.m. Because I put the links up ahead of time.
That's respect.
That's respect. Shout out to KJ Shadow, man. We appreciate you wherever the heck you are. If you are asleep right now, I understand. All right. But shout out to you rocking with us, man. So KJ Shadow first starts it off. He says, preseason hot takes. Number 1, George Pickens' route running is not much improved. How you feel?
I don't think they have the tape out yet, right?
Respect. I would feel like that. I think it's a little premature for that full statement.
I think he was open enough on that corner route.
Yeah.
Just had to get the toe tap right.
Yeah. And I don't
Damn
feel like
close. It was much closer of a catch than I thought it was initially.
Yeah. And I would say I don't feel like we're all the way trying to open up how we're going to fully implement him just yet. So I would think that that's the only part where I think we might be a little early on that. But all right, but let's get to the next part though.
Yeah, I don't know what receiver was open and who wasn't open.
Yeah. And at times I was wondering with Justin Fields, I'm like, man, is it guys just not getting open? Are you just not seeing it? Or what is it? Because it's like every play is just run. Just drive back and run off. It was productive. It was effective, but it looked real Chicago-y. And
yeah, it really did.
Yeah, I don't think we was feeling that, bro.
You look at his stat line, you would think he outplayed Russ.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the national media is trying to push right now.
Of course.
Fields deserves to be the starter over Russ. I'm like, did you even watch the game?
No.
It's cool.
Stats.
He's got those rushing yards and he's got cool fantasy stats, but he almost threw 2 picks to the third stringers. Had like the illegal boneheaded play where he threw it, went back to him, and he threw it again.
Yeah.
It did. It looked very Chicago-esque. He was scrambling around out there. He just didn't look comfortable. At least Russ looked like he was in control and command.
Yeah. And we're gonna keep talking about. We're gonna get to him. Let me get to KJ's second point because he got some points in here. All right. His second point. He says Arthur Smith should not be blamed in any way, shape, or form in preseason. Okay. So I think he's taking the stance that because it's preseason, Arthur Smith and Terrell Austin are very vanilla, which from my perspective, I would agree. I think that for the majority of these teams league-wide, they're all pretty vanilla right now. And that's kind of what you do. You'll see some of these coaches get a little bit more aggressive and they game plan it up. I've been a part of those teams before. Usually you look really good in the preseason and the regular season hits and it's like all that stuff that we've schemed up, it's out there now. So everybody knows how to get it and block it and stop it. But I think that part of that is at play for why the offense did look a little bit more vanilla than what we are anticipating because it is the preseason. And once again, these games don't count in the sense of affecting our win-loss regular season chance to make it to the postseason. So we're not going to put that type of content in terms of the schematics, the trick plays, we want to get GP isolated with this. But if I start showing teams this is how we're going to do it as a defensive guy, if you give me enough time, I can go ahead and create this defense now and just handle that. But if you don't show that to me until we in week 10, until we in week 6 or whatever it is, it's a different conversation. So I think that is partially at play right now. KJ also came back and he says, also wanted your thoughts on Broderick Jones. We talked about him. He says, are we hurting him by not moving him to left full time? And are we willing to see him at left even if Troy is not healthy? Meaning Moore or Cook at right for the opener.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm with Deke on that. I'm not a fan of swapping out Dan Moore just because people have this vendetta against him, and that means put Broderick at left and whoever at right. I remember at a time, Deke, when Pouncey was in his last year and he was snapping the football over the head, right? And people would say, what, man, any center is going to be an upgrade over Pouncey. It can't get any worse were the words that I kept hearing. It can't get any worse.
I think I was talking about the line as a whole.
And as a whole,
It did get worse.
Thank you.
It
Whether
did
we're
get
talking
worse.
center play or the group, it did. And that's my only thing. I get the frustration.
I didn't think it was possible.
I get the frustration. I get the, man, I want to just do something to feel like, yo, we're working and we're not complacent. But it's like, when you start doing this type of stuff, that is how it goes from what you're currently seeing to potentially a lot worse. And I just don't think that we really want that, because it sounds like we all want to win. And that's the one thing we do want to do, baby. But yeah, that's the one thing I was just like, oh, I don't want to see Dan at right all of a sudden going into year 4. Hey, Dan, go play right tackle. Now, you didn't start all these years at left since college, and you've actually been decent.
Yeah, he's either left tackle or on the bench.
Yeah. It's like, yo, either start there or you're the rotation guy. Like, we get that. But that's Dan. But Dan also wasn't built as a high-end athlete like Broderick or like Troy. And that's why those are first rounders, and you think about where we drafted Dan at. All right. KJ also pulled up and he says, wanted on record, but much love for GP. Figured he would be impressing more in preseason settings. Still feels like the plays have to get him open, especially since he is expected to take a step. How you feel about that part?
He wasn't out there for much.
Okay.
GP's probably the least of my concerns on offense right now.
Respect. Respect. So I would say this. I partially can understand what he's trying to say, but at the same time, I can understand where you feel like it's a little premature for that as well. And I'm with you. It's like, yeah, we do want to see GP look elite from the time he steps on the field, regardless of who's guarding him. Because we saw Antonio Brown look elite every time he was on the field, regardless of who was guarding him. So, yeah, there are going to be certain things that we are going to feel like, yo, we've seen what that looks like. And unless it looks like that every single time, there are going to be people that are going to constantly have second thoughts on if GP is that. Not saying that they're right or wrong for that, but I can understand that. I could also understand it being the preseason and we're like, bro, it ain't running enough plays. They not schematically doing enough. And him as the type of receiver, they run like he has a different route tree than an Antonio Brown because of the type of receiver that AB was. So it's like, yo, we can't judge his route running fully just yet when they're not giving him those type of routes for him to show that just yet. Now, my hope is once the regular season hits, that changes, but we still got to wait for that to happen. So that's why I'm like, I kind of get what you're saying, but at the same time, I can understand where it's like, yo, that's a little bit early on it. The one thing that I will say, though, before we get too far into your next Super KJ is this, man. I still have my questions about how much confidence there truly is, not just in GP, but in the group. Because, as I said when we started the show, we still haven't rescinded this offer for Brandon Aiyuk. So, clearly, the organization still sees something about GP and the group as a whole where they feel like, yo, we need a upgrade and not just a $10 million upgrade. We talk about a high-end paid upgrade. So that's the part where I'm still just like, all right, are y'all more not settled with GP being the guy that can just elevate everybody in that room? Or do y'all truly feel like, yo, we need just another like real piece because you don't trust the Van, the Calvins, the Romans, the Quest? But this isn't me speculating and saying this. This is their actions. That deal has been in place now for how many days, Deke? We don't hear them having a deal in place for Matthew Judon when he was trying to get up out of there, right? We ain't hear none of that talk because we got a TJ, we got a Heisman, we got a Herbig. We feel great about the group, right? But with this, it's just sitting here, and it's not like we sit here waiting on the Niners. We're waiting on Aiyuk, essentially, to be like, yo, do I want to stay here or do I want to go? So,
and he needs to make a decision.
I would agree, but that's what's making
man, dude.
That's what makes me really uncomfortable about this wide receiver room as a whole because of how they are doing this. If the offer wasn't out there or if it was quiet about it, I think it's different. This is no different than what the Browns did with Baker and Deshaun Watson. Baker, you're here, but hey, Deshaun, we love you. We want you. Please sign with us. Oh, you still thinking about it? Dang. Baker, you pissed? All right. Here, take all much money we got for you. Here, man. That's all we got for you. Right now, I'm just like, bro, they ain't said they ain't walked that back yet.
They also haven't upped the offer, though.
The offer is still there, though.
It's still there. I think they feel confident enough that if Aiyuk ends up going back to the 49ers, we're going to roll into week 1 with the receivers in place. But still think we could use the upgrade.
How confident do you feel about that if they feel like they got to have this offer in place is what I'm saying. It's not like we're offering a Juju. It's not like we're offering Cortland Sutton. We're trying to have somebody that can go to the head of the class. Is that not where Brandon Aiyuk would be?
What's your question? How confident am I?
Yeah, because clearly when I look at the organization, I'm like, yo, where's their confidence level in this thing? They give us the diplomatic approach, right? Hey, we're going to do whatever we can to upgrade the team.
Yeah, I think because I think that's part of it. I think we do have a chance to significantly upgrade our receiver room here, where we could still afford it. So it's almost just like the why not factor.
So we don't say that about offensive line, though.
Yeah, well, we invested a lot in the O-line over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Not as much in the receiver room because we traded away one of our guys that we invested in. It's basically Pickens' first-round pick, third-rounder, Roman Wilson. We signed a couple of these guys cheaply from the free agent market, veterans who can play in the league. But, guys that I think most other teams aren't looking at as your wide receiver, too. I'll admit that for sure. But I think part of the reason why I think they would be okay with going with the offense as is or the receivers as is going into week 1 if the Aiyuk deal doesn't go through is just because of the style of offense.
Okay.
I think that's what makes it unique with Arthur Smith and his use of tight ends and how run heavy we could potentially be.
For sure.
I'm not saying I'm like completely good with it.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. As I sit here,
I want Aiyuk.
Can we win without Aiyuk or a higher end wide receiver too? Yes. Is it going to be as pretty as it would look with that type of guy? No. Is the margin for error going to be a lot smaller? Yes. But can we still get the job done? Absolutely. So that's where I'm at with it regardless. But as I'm just saying, simply the messaging, as if I'm a player and I'm looking at how all of this is played out. I don't hear us hollering about linebacker right now. I don't hear us in the market heavily for no corner right now. A safety, or running back, any of these other spots. But it's like, you got this wide receiver that we talking about. And it's like, well, if I'm Van Jefferson, do you not believe that I can be that then? If I'm Calvin Austin, where's your confidence in me? Roman Wilson, where's your confidence in me? If you're GP, bro, I don't need that guy over there. Just shoot. I'm nice. That's more targets for me. I got all this. That's all I'm saying. But we're going to see, man.
Which is fine. And, they could take it that way. But Brandon Aiyuk's an awesome player. So sometimes you can't take it personal.
Yeah. I ain't saying they got to take it personal, but I'm like, I just question how much confidence internally they have in this wide receiver group. If this is what they're willing to publicly say and just allow it to just still be out there like that.
Could have just kept Deontay.
Come on, man. Come on, man. All right.
If he wasn't a culture fit anymore, though, or chemistry fit, then I get it.
They said sabotage DJ, man. You got sabotage, bro. All right. KJ also has. Shout out to KJ, man. And this would have been his 5th overall super chat, so he got a little badge and everything. Salute you on that. He says, offense just feels young still. Dumb flags and inconsistent. But would rather see and try to fix it all in the preseason. Much love and God bless. Which I do agree with. What was the penalty we had with the false start with Calvin early? Was there any other ones with that first group, though?
Penalties?
Yeah.
No, it was Calvin Austin.
Yeah, it was just the Calvin on
I didn't even remember who they called that on.
Yeah.
Because we got it to 3rd and 5. I think it bumped us back to 3rd and 10.
Yeah. And then we had then it was the pressures after that. Yeah, I felt like it was more of a pressure thing than, dumb flags per se from us. I could be off, though. But I don't remember with the early group.
That was one of our handful of negative plays. It was that and a couple of the sacks. That was it. It was just stagnant offense.
Yeah. All right. And then lastly, KJ says, excuse me, back to coaching, especially in preseason. Let's see players play above their situation. That's that Coach T talk. The defense knows the play. So what? They have to stop it. Now, let's see who can't be stopped. Execution over play call. Now, respect on that. I know when we be in those locker rooms, that's essentially how Coach T would talk about it. I'm not trying to scheme you open. I'm not trying to scheme you to come free. I want you to win your one-on-one because I know once the season gets here,
I was gonna say, I think that's a fine approach for preseason.
Yeah, because once the season gets here, they're gonna scheme certain things where you're gonna come open. They're gonna scheme certain things where it's more advantageous for players.
I think it would be foolish to have that mentality in the regular season.
But that's why the preseason is an evaluation. That's why it's like it matters more so for like the construction of your roster, but to figure out roles and like, yo, can I trust this guy? What is he, can he win versus this type of dude, or does he always struggle versus cover 2? You know what I mean? Can this guy actually, get after the quarterback, or do I always have to stunt him with the D lineman? Those are legitimate questions that you find in the preseason. So, like I say, I get what he's saying. I get what you're saying. But shout out to you, KJ, man. We appreciate the love, early morning love from you, man. But shout out to you on that, man. And y'all hit that like button one time for the coach if y'all are enjoying the show today. And don't forget to subscribe either if you're new to the chat, baby, or new to the family. Excuse me.
Juby28, can we please put our O-line at their correct positions and stop the versatile BS?
So if that's the case, put Broderick and Troy both at left, and Dan is at left, because that's all where they naturally played at collegiately, right? Yeah. We're going to flip Troy to right because Michael Penix was right or left-handed, so we did the whole, but if we're saying natural position, right, don't do versatility, they all three are lefts, if we being real about it. Is that not true?
They're college spots, sure.
Yeah. So I'm saying, but that's what he's implying is the natural position, is what I'm saying. Somebody's going to have to be versatile. Somebody's going to have to play on the other side.
Yeah, I think maybe once you get a guy in the league, though, and you say, like, this is where you're playing, and Fautano would be the example of that. Like, we drafted him to be the right tackle. It's like, you're going to have to make this your natural position.
So what's the difference? Whereas, like, say Broderick,
no, I was going to say,
damn more you've been starting here the past 3 years.
Yeah, but
Broderick, go make this your spot right now for at least another season.
I was going to say that we know Broderick was drafted to be the left tackle, though.
Okay. But Dan hasn't done enough to open the door for him just yet.
No, listen. I get it. No, you're right. I mean, we had to do what we had to do last year. But I guess what he's trying to say is just get Broderick over to left. I think that's what he's trying to say in as many words.
And Alex, all good. Dan Moore isn't the favorite child. He's just the one that hasn't put out bad tape this preseason. I don't know if you watched these past 2 preseason games. Show me the play where Dan Moore is getting thrown, spent, and ran through and all the other stuff, man. If you could show me that, I promise you I will change my tone surrounding Dan Moore. But I don't pick favorites. I just watch the tape, and I look at the tape, and I say, okay, good play, not good play. Go to the next one. Another good play, another not so good one. And then after that, I come up here, we talk about it, baby. I ain't got no favorites in this thing. I love them all because they all part of the family, man. But you tell me what you saw. That's all.
Let's go. UW says moving him to left doesn't fix him.
Just depends on how you feel about it. Some people will feel that because it's more of a natural position, it's a little bit more, I guess, second nature to him. Take some of the thinking out of it. Power, dominant hand, things like that. But if you listen to Broderick, he's also said,
he said, as long as I'm starting,
exactly. He says I work both because I feel like I can do both. I don't know if I was the only one to hear that interview. Was on Steelers.com. But that's what he said. So that's very different than when we had Dotson on the show, and Dotson said to us, man, I feel way better on the right. I would prefer to be on the right. Broderick didn't say that. Broderick said, man, it don't matter. I work both. They say, yo, do you think it's going to hurt you by doing that? Nah, because this is what I do. So now we're going to walk that back because he had a bad performance? Nah. You just look at that tape for Broderick, man, cut it on. You say, bro, if it's the elbow, then you're compromised. That's a different conversation. But if it's not, then now we need to talk about pad level, trusting your kick slide, staying inside out of these guys, not boxing your shoulders, because that's what allowed them dudes like Greg to push you out through with one arm and have you spinning around looking crazy out here. But those are 2 very different instances. If it's injury, I ain't worried about that. If it's not injury and it's technique, then it don't matter what position you put him at. If those are your technique issues that you want to have pop up all of a sudden.
Right. Cliff the Dark Knight, how dramatically different would this team be or look if Kevin Colbert was still in charge? Is KP still here? Is Queen signed, etc.?
We would definitely have a little bit more of a conservative approach to how we build our roster, yes. I think we'd still be good, though. But it would definitely be more of a conservative approach, though.
That's actually a really good question. Is Omar Khan the reason we talked to Russell Wilson this offseason?
I think so.
Like
feel
if Kevin
Omar's
Colbert
more
was here,
aggressive,
we're not even having the conversation. It's Kenny Pickett. We're just going to re-sign Mason, let them do the competition.
I think it would have been something like that, yeah.
And I guess the next question would be probably something we can't answer, but how much say did Tomlin have in talking to Russell Wilson and bringing him here? Because, would he have been in Colbert's ear?
Because I still wonder, like, that dynamic. I also wonder who made the final green light on Kenny Pickett. Because you remember, that's Kevin Colbert at the end.
Yeah.
So it's like...
I think Tomlin liked Pickett. I truly do.
Fair. So, but what I'm saying is, if it was more of a Kevin Colbert thing, then I think Kenny would for certain have been here a lot longer. I think if it was more of a Coach Tomlin thing, maybe Kevin Colbert looks at them and says, man, I don't want to keep going down this path because this was more of a your guy than a my guy. And I'm willing to move on. That's kind of what I was trying to figure. I just didn't know one way or the other because I just know that at the end they were both kind of locked in, and then Omar was doing like his entry level version of being the GM. So yeah.
Right. Do we get Patrick Queen?
I mean, think about it. Patrick Queen was our biggest spend in free agency. The majority of the time in the Kevin Colbert, we did not spend. I think the most we spent was on Mike Mitch. So I think the history would say no, but the results have been better with Colbert thus far in terms of winning, big winning, and hardware.
Yeah, he had been.
No, but he was a part of that also, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying it'll be interesting if we can find our guy.
Yeah.
And we got Omar being willing to make some of these aggressive moves and make sure no matter what our team is ready to go for that given season.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be interested to see.
Like, I love that about Omar, how aggressive he is. I don't think I would have liked it as a player just because of, like, yo, I see the type of dudes you going to get, and those are dangerous for guys like me who are more like, yo, we ain't going to win a whole bunch of eyeball tests. We more to fundamentally sound, lunch pill. We're going to do every little thing right. You ain't going to never outwork us type catch. You feel me? He like the ones they walk in and they just, wow. Like they pass all eyeball tests. That's dangerous, man. Yeah. Whereas Colbert, he was a little bit more reserved. You got some Debos in here, you know what I mean? You got they ain't all gotta look the part. If you could ball, you could ball. So that's all. I just feel like Omar's a little bit more on the, if they look like it though, he ain't scared to go get you. He gonna go get you, bro. Yeah, like I said, for some of us, you just gotta know where you are in the world, man. Yeah.
Hunter Gaming. I'm going to the Dallas game. Hotel is near Pitt University.
Let's go.
It's the University of Pittsburgh, my friend. Put some respect on that. Taking a page out of Charlie Batch's playbook there.
Oh.
It's not Pitt University. It's the University of Pittsburgh.
And you remember he corrected us when we introed him that one time, bro. He was like, yo, of all university people, you of all people should be locked in on this thing, man. Because I was like, bro, I've never had that happen before. So, yeah, Pitt University.
University of Pittsburgh, or you just call it Pitt.
Yes.
Not Pitt University. He says, how's the area? Hashtag Sabotage 3.
Ooh.
Hashtag Sabotage 2.
Okay.
Hashtag Here We Go.
Okay.
That's Oakland. That's over. Yeah.
He was straight.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah, if you got a hotel down there, I'm sure you're gonna be fine.
Yeah. If it say Airbnb might have been different, but hotel, you good.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get this one real quick. This was an earlier one from Let's Go UW. Oh, no. Actually, never mind. You did get this one. Yeah, I think you already got the one on Jones with the elbow brace. Clearly brace bothering him, punch ineffective, inaccurate. Yeah, we already got that one.
Let's go UW, though. He says PH3 haters in shambles with how he looks in San Fran.
Man, I was watching that game last night. I was happy as heck to see my dog out there booming them punch, bro.
Did he look good?
Yeah, he looked good. It looked Cam Johnston-ish. The only difference is Cam has done this preseason and regular season, whereas with Press, this is a little bit more of like, whoa, you putting multiple of these out here. But it was just in this one. And
maybe the air, was it at San Fran?
Yeah, it was in San Fran.
Maybe the air is better for him out there.
Yeah, Brady was out there throwing early. I still got it. I can still throw. Had your boy Purdy
Who was
out
San
there.
Fran playing?
They were oh my gosh, not Vegas.
Why was Brady there?
He was for pregame. Yeah, he was down there like walking on the field.
Was it for Fox?
Stuff. I think it was. Yeah. So he was down there for pregame. And I'm throwing and stuff. He looked good, man. Yeah, the Saints. That's what it was. Shout out to Steelers Nation on fire. Yeah, it was playing the Saints.
Okay.
Yeah. It was cool, man. I was like, all right.
Someone in the chat earlier said that maybe we should be thinking about bringing PH3 back for the tackle spot.
Y'all silly, man. I was like, what the tackle spot? What you talking about? Y'all playing, man. But no, Presley looked good, bro. Like I was impressed. I was like, all right, because I mean, that's the homie, man. So I knew when he got picked up out there earlier this week, man, it was like, all right.
Is he the only guy?
He was the only guy that I paid attention to.
Was he starting?
Preseason, yes, but I don't know if their main punter got hurt or what's the situation. You know, how, like at times we do the Matthew Wright where we still have Boz.
Yeah,
I don't know all the way. I didn't, like I said, look into it like that. I know the kicker is still Robbie Gould, but I don't know who the punter has been. So yeah, but like I said, he looked good though, man. So shout out to Press, man, and Dobbs. Shout out to our favorite Pastronaut, aka Astronaut, man. He was out that thing getting activated.
I didn't watch this at all. Does he got the 2 spot locked up?
I don't know, but he dropped a beautiful double move bomb on him. Hit him with the yee, and then of course signature Dobbs hit you with the read option, 1-on-1 versus the defender. Yeek, wait on it, get into the zone, bro. Yeah, Dobbs was hooping, bro. Dobbs was hooping.
Seeing Mason's playing good too.
I didn't get a chance to see Mason yet.
I think he had a game-winning drive.
Shout out.
I know he threw a touchdown.
So yeah, I've seen Kenny, Mitch, Dobbs, Ola Dukin. He was out there in Kansas City. He was looking straight. Swear anybody that plays under Mahomes tries to do Mahomes stuff and they realize you're not Mahomes. Yeah, he was trying to do some of that. Get it out. Oh, I'm about to get sacked. Nah, bro, you ain't Mahomes, bro. Chill. All right, but yeah, I seen all them. Man. Yep. So I gotta catch Mason though. That's the last one I gotta see of our like circle of quarterbacks that we, are attached to and everything.
That behind the back pass from Mahomes, I mean, that's the epitome, or that's one of the main reasons why back like a year and a half ago or whatever it was, why I was saying Mahomes is overrated. Even though he's the best quarterback in the league, he's overrated.
They have lost their mind.
Because it's just, it's just too much. So like before that, people would just be talking about Mahomes and his sidearm throws and all that.
Or the shuffle.
It's like, all right, cool, man. Like we know he's really like some of these are like 5-yard passes, man. Like let's stop going crazy over this. But actually, I'm at the point now
they lost their mind behind it, bro.
Where Mahomes is actually underrated.
Ooh.
Throughout this whole time, the last 2-3 years, he's been the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
But I thought he was overrated. Now he's actually underrated.
I like it.
Still the best quarterback in the league, but went from overrated in my book to underrated.
I mean, quarterback is very tough to play.
But it is. It's that behind the back. It's like, dude, it's cool. Whatever. Let's not go. Let's not act like no one else can do that.
I don't think that we're acting like no one else can do it, but who has the balls to actually do it in a game? Show me somebody. We played with some ballsy guys. I never seen them do it. I never saw Seven. I never saw Favre. I never saw Brady. I never saw Manning. Either Manning. We never saw Young, Montana. All these dudes with that, they take chances. Yeah. Fair. All I'm saying is I've never seen any of them do it, even in the preseason. So that's the part where
that doesn't like attribute to his greatness. That's not something you're like looking at and be like, oh yeah, that's why Mahomes is so great.
I think it's more of just an appreciation of this dude is so dominant at what he does that he's even having fun. Not just some of the other, no looks that we've been seeing him do. Now he's like, yo, y'all think that y'all do no looks? Oh, cool. Y'all think y'all want to do sidearms because of me? Oh, cool. Well, here's another thing I could do. I look at it like that. And it's just kind of like, and he was casual. He didn't make it a big deal. And that's the thing I do like about Mahomes. You notice he never talks about himself.
I know.
He never makes it a
like
big
Mahomes.
deal.
It is the media.
Everybody
it's the media
else
and these fans.
Talks about him. He didn't bring it up. He's like, yo, I'm just doing it. I'm just playing, man. That's the one thing I always respect about Mahomes. You've never heard him come out here and have to talk it up. He don't got to sell it. Nah. The dope sell itself. That's what it is when he playing out there, man. So, like I said, they going to run with it, though, because it is Mahomes, and everybody's on the three-peat vibe now, too. I was like, yo, we're going to hear three-peat until they are mathematically eliminated from that. And, yeah. It's like whatever other tricky thing.
To me, it's like Mahomes is great because of what we watched in the Super Bowl. We watched in last year and his playoff runs posted. Like what he can do in the clutch. Like just how he can navigate the game along with all the talented stuff. Yeah. It's like not this 5-yard behind the back pass and
but he threw it behind the back and it hit him right in the hands and he did it on the run. And we were asking him, are you going to do this in the game? He did it all week in practice. And then he turns around doing it in the game. Oh my God, I get it, Deke.
You get what I mean?
Get it, bro. It was.
It's like, okay.
I'm like, you act cool. Like it was a 60-yard no-look blindfolded behind the back touchdown pass. It was literally
do that in the Super Bowl.
I'm with you, bro.
Go ahead, do that in a playoff game.
I'm with you. I'm with you, man.
If you really want that to be part of your arsenal.
Now,
like, come on.
I don't put it past him because he also introduced the underhand throw. Remember that? People looked at that like, bro, they did what in the game? And he's just like, Or the ring around the rosy, let's run in circles in it. Like, they clowning on people, bro, but they feel like they're that good, but it still doesn't come off as arrogant, which is weird to me, though. I think that underarm pass,
I think some of the stuff Mahomes is doing is just practical in the moment. Like, what he feels like he's got to do to make a play.
And technically, this was also in the moment. It's a defender right here. He ain't gonna throw it this way. Which you want to pump and go somewhere else?
Listen,
like, I want Kelsey to get the ball.
No, I will take it. I will give Mahomes, the benefit of the doubt on that. That if he felt like he had to go behind the back there, like I'm fine with that. Whatever Mahomes wants to decide to do, I'm good with, because it is Mahomes. Like I trust him on that. It's the reaction to it.
The media goes crazy. They overreact.
It is. It's too much, man. It's way too much.
You said it can never just be, this was a great play, let's recognize it, appreciate it, move on. It's like, yo, this was this earth-shattering.
This is what makes Mahomes great. This is why he's so
nobody
good.
could do this.
This is what makes him a tier above. I'm no. What makes him a tier above is what he did in the postseason last year.
Right.
What he did in the Super Bowl when he had a game-winning drive in overtime. Like, that's what makes him great. It's not the behind it. Sure, that's icing on the cake, I guess, but.
Like you said, it's not icing on the cake to them. To them, that's a whole wedding cake. They're like, bro, did you see this? You're like, bro,
it's too much.
I get this, but man, that's the Mahomes effect right now. I just love the fact that he doesn't feed into it, because if he fed into it more, bro, just imagine how like it could really be for us, man.
Right.
But like, he's chill, so salute the Mahomes, man. I think he's the only one that's chill around that situation. Everybody else be gassing it.
Yep. We got Juby28. No way someone with eyes can watch that game and say Russ was the problem.
All right, let's talk a little bit too, man. And shout out to each and every one of y'all that are rocking with us today too, man. I see a lot of supers in here, man. A lot of y'all in the chat with us, man. We appreciate the heck out of y'all, man. This is what we love, because we know y'all love to talk this the way that me and Deke love to talk this, man. So salute y'all. But did want to talk a little bit more about Russ and Fields, but let's start with Russ specifically. What did you like about what you saw from him? Like, we'll talk some of the dislikes in this as well, but specifically, what stood out to you in a positive way from Russ?
Didn't put the ball in harm's way. That might be it. He had the nice pass across the middle. I think it was the last series after we got the ball back from the Mitch pick. Yep. And he had the pass to Pickens, the throw down the field. I thought that was a nice throw. We just missed the catch there. He just looked in control. Maybe I do wish he would have taken more shots, but I also don't think he had the greatest of time because we had some O-line issues, particularly on the right side. 4 series in a preseason game, and what he did out there wasn't the end of the world. Okay. Did I want more? Was I looking for more? Yeah, hence my reaction while the preseason game was going on and like immediately after the preseason game. But after watching it back, I'm like, one, it's preseason. Russ hasn't been getting all the 1 reps with the squad thus far. He's been limited. New coordinator, new system, all his new teammates. All right, if this is what we got, this ain't the end of the world.
Respect. So the things that I liked, I'll kind of piggyback you, man. I do feel like he was in control, even in the midst of the lack of protection on multiple series. You can see it go one or two ways. Guys can have bad body language, start pouting, or they can start, point fingers at the O-line, block, protect for me. Or it's we're going to stay positive. We're going to stay optimistic. Man, don't matter. Come back out here next play. I felt like he took that approach, which I do like to see. The other thing, I thought that he made good decisions with the football. You said the deep pass to GP. I like it. I obviously wish it would have been a completion, but I still like the mechanics of it. I like the throw, the placement.
That's not on the ball. Yeah. It's just, you missed it by an inch, a centimeter.
But you put it in a place where only GP was going to get to it. It was a beautiful, very catchable ball. We didn't have to have the whole argument of, if he keeps running versus if he jumps versus if the ball is in this direction, then it was overthrow or underthrow, or like we're going to do in a little bit. But that was the part that I did like about, exactly.
I thought you were talking about Kenny's pass.
No, I ain't, because that was the other way. I ain't even get to that one, but we thought that was crazy. Yeah. All right. But the other part with Russ that I also liked was the decision making. Like I said, especially it wasn't the 2-minute drill because we obviously know he came out before that and Fields came in, but the drive leading up to that where we got in position for the 52-yard field goal. He could have tried to run it himself. He could have threw the ball away, but instead takes the simple. I think it was Warren he hit. And then Warren, get what you can get. Almost got the first, And I just think that that's a good decision because everybody gets to this thought process of if you're dropping back to pass and it's not a get out the ball doesn't come out right now, it has to be some deep God tier throw down the grass. And if you don't, then you're a coward. If you don't, you're a check down artist. And it's like, no, sometimes it's just a smart decision to take this check down right here to the back and let him pick up 7. And now you got a chance for at least to get points. How many times is Boz missing from 52? Just shouldn't be happening.
It's preseason for him.
It's preseason. It's preseason, but we book Boz hitting that type of stuff. So I just thought that the decision was good. And that's the things, like I said, that you want to see, man. That was his first game action with us and his first real full week of practice with us. Because prior to that, he wasn't taking full days reps. So when I think of all of that context, I'm like, okay, I do like those parts. I did like that type of stuff.
No help in the run game either.
Yeah, it was one-dimensional, but I also like the fact that even with the O-line not protecting you, you still made what we needed to have happen in terms of getting us in position for a scoring drive.
Yeah.
So, like I said, those are things that I like specifically about him. Now, what were some of the things that you did not like about him?
I guess some of the checkdowns, the conservative play, but I think some of that goes hand in hand with the positive part of it too. Like he didn't put the ball in harm's way. It's like reading the situation.
Yeah.
And I get it's preseason and everything, but that stuff can translate over to the regular season. At least you're seeing that from Russ as opposed to the opposite, because that's what we're seeing from Justin Fields is like he's not taking care of the ball. So how can we look at what Justin Fields putting out there on preseason and say, oh, we can trust you in the regular season to take care of it? Yeah. So like, I think it's weird. I would have liked some more shots down the field, but also I didn't think he got time. Maybe there was one of those sacks he could have stepped up in the pocket. But that's what I mean. It's not I don't think the negatives here are really like the end of the world, especially when he's only getting 4 series in this preseason game. Like that's what I was saying earlier at the beginning of this too. If we saw the full game develop and it was the same stuff on offense the whole way through and we only had 3 points, then I think it's a different story. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think he did too much bad.
Okay. For me, man, the things that I would say I didn't like, I still would rather have seen him find a way to get out of the sacks. Just because I'm still
That's the old Russ.
Yeah,
that's actually the old Russ.
I'm used to seeing him get out of that.
That's why I was saying,
yes.
You know, if the O-line's going to be like this, let's see what Fields got.
Yeah.
Maybe we do got to roll with Fields.
So that was one of my negatives. I was like, man, I'm used to you being a little bit more elusive, whether that's you recognizing the breakdown and you stepping up faster and escaping through the front of the pocket, or you seeing this pressure coming and you going out the back door. We know that you are one of the best in terms of escaping pressure. Now, we know that that wasn't the case last year in Denver for Russ. And then we also know in Chicago for Fields, they both were sacked and hit a lot. But that was the part where I wanted to see a little bit more from him there. And I just wish that we could have connected on something down the grass. Like I said, it was a nice throw and catch, but the catch was still an incompletion. So as much as I wanted like praise it still was like, yeah, it was incompletion. So I still would have wanted to have seen some type of explosive from him. So like I said, those are my big negatives with him. But outside of that, it was like, man, it's hard to evaluate you all the way. And I think Coach Tomlin said similar things when, you know, it's 4 series. The protection isn't the best. The running game isn't the best. And we're very vanilla in terms of what we're trying to call.
Right.
No.
Right. I think we kind of came to the same conclusion there.
Yeah. Now, flip side. Let's talk Justin Fields. What did you like about him in the game?
Liked his running. Picked up some good gains on the ground there. Chunk plays that things seemed dead whenever he dropped back and was looking down the field to pass it. So like that's something you love about Justin Fields. Looks like the play's over. Oh wait, we ended up picking first down. We ended up picking like 8 yards. We're keeping the chains moving here. We're back on schedule. Like that. Those are breaking type of plays for a defense, and he showed some of those plays.
Yeah.
A bunch of the stuff from last week too. Like there were some really good passes from him, but then I guess I won't get into the dislikes. But yeah, I mean, you saw some nice passes. You saw the arm strength. You saw him fire some of those in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the run plays, the dynamic playmaking he was showing.
Yeah, I like it. I thought that he was decisive when he did it. I thought he was decisive when he did decide to run. And I do like that. If you're going to run as a quarterback, man, be decisive. If you know that this is your best thing, this is your platinum move, there's nothing wrong with going back to that. Now, you don't want to overdo it, and I think, we'll get into that also when we talk some of the dislikes, but I do like the fact that when in doubt, it doesn't matter who he's out there with, that's a constant in his game. It's a constant in his repertoire. And to bring up Kenny, this was the big thing for me when I say if I feel like they're both kind of in the same space as a passer of the football, right? Regardless of who has stronger arm accuracy, as a passer, they're both inconsistent right now. The difference is Fields at least can give me the dynamic running ability. And we saw that really in the second half put us in multiple scoring positions. Was it because of, a robust passing attack or him making these great reads? But it's like, man, if you give this guy enough time, it doesn't matter man or zone. If he sees a lane, he can go. He was our leading rusher. He made our rushing, actually, as a team, go over 100. Otherwise, it would have been a way bigger discrepancy about our rushing attack in comparison to the Bills' rushing attack and controlling the line of scrimmage on offense and defense. But that is what Fields brings. That's the reason why he broke the single season record for quarterback rushing yards. He does that better than anybody that's doing it right now, right? We used to bring up Lamar Jackson. It's like Lamar doesn't run like how this guy runs, but Lamar has kind of evolved into a true quarterback that he's getting way, way, way more of that true quarterback with the legs. Whereas with Fields, we see it's still more of the legs, but I thought that part was good. I like the fact that even though we had some nears, he did not turn it over. It was some nears, but it did not happen. And at the end of the day, you say, hey, man, we got up out of there. You was clean. You didn't turn it over. So I do like that. The other part was this. As simple as it might be, I didn't see the ball on the ground when he was under center. Last week, we saw that happen 2 times. This week, it didn't happen at all. So for me, I just like the fact that we're not repeating the same mistakes that we saw a week ago. You're getting better in that vein. Now, the next step is I want to see you take that as a passer and give me similar things. Let me see some more of what you did when you scrambled, had your eyes downfield. And I think it was that Dez Fitzpatrick he hit on the sideline? Can't remember who he was he hit on the sideline, but it was a nice little, roll out, pop, showed a little arm off. I'm like, yo, I want to see some more of that. If you're going to use your legs, like, fully use them to the weapon that they can be. And not just as a runner, but making these cover guys be scared, and now you can attack them like that. But that was the thing that I did like about him, man. In terms of what you did not like about Fields.
The should be picks. So, yeah, putting the ball in harm's way. The throw that came back to him, and then he threw it again, like the illegal play.
Hey, bro, when that happened, I was like, yo, what? You can't do that? Hold on, man. I was really over here tripping.
Yeah. He just looks sporadic, dude. He didn't look as in command or in control as even just last week, to be honest with you. I know he fumbled those snaps last week, but I thought he looked more composed and more in command in those series that he had against the Texans. Yeah. That inaccurate pass down the field. I think just the fact that we didn't get, I guess technically we did get 3 points with him. We got the 2-minute drive. Actually, throw that in the likes. The little 2-minute drive. It was less than 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, he took over
like a minute.
Right on.
Yeah, it was like a minute. And one of those plays, that's what I was trying to say. Even whenever we were talking about some of the likes, is one of those plays is when he ran for, it was like 15, 20 yards. Got it, helped get us into that field goal position. So that was good. That was a nice little thing. But then 0 points in the second half. And with a chance, I get it's preseason and everything, but you got a chance to win the game with a couple of those final drives.
We're in position, man.
And like, bro, I get you're out there with third stringers, but the defense has third stringers too. I don't know. Just look more like this is your thing. Like, I'm the guy here. I'm gonna elevate everyone else up, and it didn't feel like that. it was almost like he played down to the level of who he was playing with and playing against.
I'm glad you said that part, because literally that was one of the things that was just like, I'm like, you are better than anybody that's on this field.
Yeah, he looked
right
better
now,
last
bro.
game. He did. He looked way better last game. That's why I was excited. After seeing Russ, I'm like, Fields can give us more juice than this. Wait till we see Fields. Maybe this is a real competition.
Yep.
I'll be calling for Fields at QB1 whenever we do the podcast. And that didn't happen. I mean, it looked all right first couple series, but then he played way worse in the second half.
Yeah. But I say that was my thing. In terms of, just the negatives around him, I'm just like, man, I felt like he became too one-dimensional, too dependent upon his legs. And it was like, are you truly dropping back trying to throw it, or are you just waiting on a lane so now you can kind of get up out of this thing? I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Obviously, we talk about some of the near misses or the near interceptions. Like, yeah, you want to see you be a little bit better with your decision making. But yeah, I just would have rather he looked a little bit more like a quarterback. And I think that that's the argument that people have had against him and Lamar at times. It's like, we know you have the gift of running. Coach Tomlin even said, hey, I want to see some of that, right? But there is still a balance that has to be had. And I feel like when we look at how we operated on fourth downs, 0 for 3 on fourth downs, but we never really could get anything going. It's like, yo, the one in the red zone, we're calling the speed option or zone read to the field. And I'm like at the crib, like, yo, this is about to be a zone read or some type of running action to the field, because Justin hasn't shown that he's willing to sit in there and throw it anywhere. And the boundary's right here. So you look at what Buffalo does. It's like, yo, get us somebody out here extra. And now we're going to have the numbers game, and they swallowed it up. That's the type of stuff where it's like, if you keep relying on the legs, teams are going to play you like that. And he hasn't evolved enough just yet to where, yo, if we sit in zone, he could pick us apart. But if he goes man, then he could run on us. He hasn't gotten to that level just yet. And yeah, these are 2s and 3s he's going against. And my response is, all of the running that we were seeing and the success that it was having versus those guys, yeah, that does work a little bit better. But we know,
if anything, it works. It sometimes can works to the defense's favor.
Because as a defender, we say, man, you can have all them rushing yards. You ain't about to score no tutty. And I know I'm going to get sacks because every time you drop back, you holding the ball.
Yep.
You're not looking to get this thing out on time. And eventually it's going to be a strip sack. Eventually we're going to get that big play because you do put the ball on the ground. And that was the part where I was just like, man, I felt like he kind of reverted back to what was comfortable for him versus what we had saw in preseason game 1 and pretty much throughout training camp we had been seeing from him. But that was part of why I was kind of cautious of just how we look at the practice setting. And remember, we had the convo, and I'm like, yo, if we're going to take what he's done in practice and we're going to weigh that more than what we've seen from Russ in games, I don't think that it's right. Because in practice, we're not saying, here, take all 60, 70 plays and run them all at the same time versus anything, whatever the scenario is, just react and we'll figure it out. No, we're putting it and saying, hey, for these 5 plays, Deke, you're working just this. So you should look good in this right here. Now we're going to work just play action pass. Not run game, not deep pass, not drop back, not just play action pass. So you should look good. Hey, now we're at 7 on 7. All right, now we're going to open up, but you ain't got to worry about the rush now. Hey, now we're going to work red zone. So it's just like, man, we're giving you all the different parts of it. But when you get to the game, preseason or regular season, now you're taking all those little drills and you got to put it together and do it every single time. And like I said, for me, I just need to see more of Fields showing that he can do that in stadium because we've already seen Russ doing it. I already told you, the worst version of Russ I saw was last year. And that version was still better than the field of quarterbacks that we've had, including Justin right now, over the past 2-3 years. So that's, once again, where I'm just like, I need to see that be a little bit better for him. And I'm hoping that this game gives him an opportunity, man. Because I do feel like that this was just the, yo, I ain't got to worry about seeing him, man. They can't stop me running. I'm just going to run. I'm just going to take off. So.
Yeah, I think Russ is QB1. I think there's like zero doubt about it now. If there was any doubt, I think it has to be squashed.
Well, I was going to ask you, is there anything that could happen in this third game that could change your opinion?
No.
Okay.
No. For week 1, no. It's got to be Russ. Yeah, I think there's been too much helter-skelter stuff with Fields' play. you got to go with Russ. Yeah, and that's the unfortunate part, dude. Even though I was saying over the last couple weeks, I think no matter what, Tomlin is going to go with Russ. Like, I wanted to talk myself into Fields having a chance or, making this interesting. But I just don't think his play over these 2 preseason games has warranted that.
I can't go against you on that, dude.
Yeah.
Like you say, I love this talent, man. And I feel like he's still in a great position.
Just because it just makes the preseason, it makes us talking about this more exciting. Like, oh, man, Fields really made this interesting. He went out there 120 yards passing, couple touchdowns, 50 yards on the ground. We end up winning the game. Like, all right, then I think we're like legitimately having a real conversation.
Or even if it was a game-tying drive and he actually was able to get that done.
Yeah, he didn't put the ball in harm's way. Like, if that's what we were seeing from Fields these 2 preseason games, and Russ looks like that, then I still think Tomlin leans Russ, but we're talking about it.
Combo.
Yeah, I think it's way more legitimate.
Combo. Yeah.
But now I don't even think it's not even a conversation in my mind.
Like I said, I can't go against it. I was just gonna give the one caveat is we still feel that you can win with either guy, though. It's just one is going to have a lot more challenges with them, but they also have a little bit more potential to give you some of the higher end wild plays. Whereas, like I said, with Russ just has a very high floor in comparison to Justin Fields. But yeah, we get it. Fields' ceiling is higher. Yes, of course. But which one is going to help you in terms of when we start the season out, minimizing some of the potential variables?
Straight up playing winning football.
Like, who can get that and quarterback it? Because the quarterback has to lead this thing, and we know we are more than likely going to have at least one rookie starting on our offensive line. Might be multiple rookies starting on the offensive line, and you could have Broderick starting at a position that he hasn't played in the NFL just yet at left if that were to happen. So how many variables do you want to be dealing with new coordinator, with whoever is wide receiver 2, and all these other things? I think if you're Coach Tomlin, you're looking at that and saying, man, Russ is a calming presence. Russ has been through scenarios where it hasn't been as glamorous as ours, and he's still been able to get the most out of it. And we always got the caveat that we can always go to Fields. It's hard to start at Fields, though, and turn around and say, hey, Russ, wait. Now we're going to go to Russ. It's like, I don't think it could work like that. But it can work in terms of, Russ, you going out here first. And if at some point, man, we just need some more juice, we don't like it, he's hurt, boom, whatever, now you can make that move. And I think that for Fields, it's still something that he'll be motivated by in the sense of staying locked in and being a positive person in this vibe. Whereas if you were to switch that out, I don't know how that operation works in that room anymore. Shout out to them dudes, though, man. Shout out to them dudes, baby.
Yeah, I think Russ is QB1. Steel Nation on fire. Everyone needs to relax. It's only preseason. Let these guys gain chemistry. Also, some players were injured before the game.
No, facts on that, man. Facts. Shoot, man. Those people that didn't even play, man. Were you surprised you didn't get Josh Allen out there?
A little bit. I thought we were going to get a series or 2 from him, but probably smart decision by Buffalo.
What about TJ? Surprised on him?
Surprised? No, not really. It's almost the same thing with Josh Allen. I'm not really surprised, and I'm fine with not seeing TJ at all. Don't need to see him. Didn't need to see Minka. Don't need to see Cam. Patrick Queen. We could have went without seeing Patrick Queen this preseason. I would have been fine.
True.
I think the offense is the only side of the ball that I got to see the starters on still. I think first team needs to be out there again for preseason game 3.
Yo, you don't get to take off game 3. All right, guys.
I need all y'all out there. All the starters. Because, hell, Ogunjobi and Benton look good.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't need to see them again.
Leal's had a heck of a preseason.
I don't need to see Joey Porter Jr.
Nah, Herbig's balled out, but he'll still get the reps. I need a lot of him. Let the young guys go.
Yeah, Julius. 7 or 8 of the top starters on defense, we could just sit.
Yeah.
Fine with that. Tiono Jackson. I saw Chris Boswell sleeping on the sidelines. This shit is so unserious.
He was playing. He wasn't for real. I know exactly what you're talking about, man.
Matter what we need, what we mean it to. Relax.
I know exactly what he talking about. He's like, yo, Boz sleep, man. Boz ain't sleep out here. He playing with y'all folks, man. But preseason doesn't matter when we are trying to make ourselves feel better about bad performances. We get it. We're going to say that every time, but it does matter. And that's the reason why those dudes
It should
play
at least
games.
a little better than
Yeah.
what it did.
Yeah,
That's
you just
all.
wanted to look better. Heck yeah. So we
That's
get it,
all.
man. We definitely get it. When it don't look good, act like we don't care about it. That's the defense mechanism. Oh, man, we ain't worry about that. It's just preseason. And then it'd be 2 weeks, and it's week one. It's looking like they'd be like, hold on now. Wait a minute. Whoa, what's this? Nah. But it doesn't hold the most weight because we know, man, there are a lot of other things we could do to help ourselves out in these games that we're not doing.
QB28, this is better than being delusional with KP.
Why they got to do that? It wasn't delusional with KP.
I think
Just wasn't
KP's
consistent.
I think KP's 2-0 right now in the preseason.
Hey,
Games
man.
he started.
What's the Bessie? You went back and watched the game. How'd you feel about it, man?
I didn't go back and watch.
Oh man, what the street saying about KP, man? Anybody talking good about him?
No one is actually.
I was about to say I feel like I ain't seen no positive about him. I felt bad. I'm like, yo, why y'all getting at him? They was really getting at your man, yo. Why they get at him like
Listen,
that? I ain't feel like it was that. I mean, it won't good, but it won't that. They made it sound like he was like, you know how to get at your man. They had your man say like he was like, yeah. It was just like it was Kenny. It was a Kenny performance.
Well, I guess I'll die on the hill that if Kenny was still here and he was starting week one, I think we'd win games.
There it is.
Like I don't think that's being delusional. I actually think that's if you had to bet, if Kenny was starting this year, would we win more games than what we lose? And I'm not saying that's what the standard should be or anything, but
Okay.
what side are you betting on?
It's a lot of variables that go into Kenny's success, man.
I'm just saying, Kenny, in all the games Kenny has started, we have a winning record. And in fact, the last like 17 games he started and finished, we're 12-5.
You know that pie chart they're gonna bring up? That thing gonna bring up that pie chart, man.
The game winning drives don't matter.
No,
The fourth
it's
quarter
a
play?
pie chart. When we talk about that pie chart, this
That's all I'm saying. I'll say it again. Like his play last year, if he continued to do that again, that's not cool. Like that is not cool. Trust me. But I actually think he did some good things and helped put us in position to win and helped us win games.
He's on the pie chart. I ain't saying he's not up there, but I think that's what people would look to. Is like we got that portion of the pie chart which you just brought up, and then they're gonna have some questions.
But who knows? Yeah, who knows how it could have looked in year 3? You know what? I'm not even. I'm done talking about it.
Hey
He's
man,
not
I
here
like it though,
anymore.
bro.
He's not here anymore.
For right now, he's
It
not
doesn't
here.
matter. Like,
right now, he's not here.
It doesn't matter.
We'll find out. He's not here
It
right
really
now.
doesn't matter. But it's just like to me, all the things that we bring up with like Justin Fields and like the inconsistencies and everything. It's like, bro, the way people were talking about Justin Fields and trading for him, like if we still had Kenny, they were acting like he was going to be this clear upgrade over Kenny. Like, come on, man.
So based off of both of those guys, do you not think Justin Fields would still be more productive than Kenny right now?
He could maybe give you better stats, give you better fantasy stats. I don't know what that means for winning games.
We minimize his performance by saying fantasy stats, which is fine. But
yeah, but you just said sometimes the defense is like, we don't even care if you get some of these. We don't care if you get some of these rushing yards.
What I'm saying is this: if all you have to do if you're Kenny Pickett is stay afloat for 3 quarters and then you get 2 drives of playing hero ball and now you're great. You don't think Justin Fields could do that? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know because he gets his numbers and all that stuff gets worse in the fourth quarter. But Justin Fields also has never
played with a team like the Steelers with a coach like Coach Tomlin who is going to do things to protect you from yourself. Whereas if Kenny is in Chicago and they turn the keys over to him and say, be the great athlete that Justin Fields is, make it work for us. I don't think we're sitting here and saying that he has this great fourth quarter record where he has all these comebacks and all this other stuff. That's what I'm saying. I feel like the comebacks are a part of being a part of the Steelers.
Yeah, but there's been many close games that Fields has
but look
not
at Coach
done good
Tomlin's record in one-score games. He's historically dominated one-score games. So we know that that's in his wheelhouse. We trying to see what Kenny looks like away from this situation. We gonna see what Fields looks like potentially in this situation. But Coach Tomlin, man, he keeps his teams in one-score games winning those things. So I just don't think that we could solely look at that and say that that's the reason why he is and why Justin Fields is not, when Chicago has never been like that.
I mean, his numbers and all, it's just like a flat-out fact. Like, it's worse in the fourth quarter. And he has turned the ball over in the fourth quarter. Like, he has lost close games in Chicago.
What they're asking of him when he was in Chicago was very different than what we were asking of Kenny. Here's all I'm saying. The numbers could be what the numbers are, and stats do tell a part of the story. But I do feel like what was asked for both players was different, though.
Yeah, I guess that's the hypothetical. We'll never really find out. Maybe we would, but if I was gonna say
never know.
I was gonna say if Fields ends up like starting for us, then yeah, we could find out. But
in that sense, yeah.
Because what I was gonna say is, if we start with Kenny this year, week 1, or we start with Fields this year, week 1, who do we win more games with? Like, I mean, you know what my answer is, but I mean, also that's why with Russ being on the roster, it being Russ and Fields, that's also why I'm leaning Russ over Fields too. It's like kind of like the same thing in a way. Yeah. Russ obviously way more proven, decorated than a Kenny, but it's just in terms of winning games up to this point so far, Kenny's done better than Fields. And I get it, you could talk about situation and all that type of stuff, but I've also seen Fields do a lot of inconsistent things, and the preseason game was an example of that. Like it was like he had every opportunity to win that game, to play better in the second half, and it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. Like the stats weren't bad, but for us to get 0 points and not get that opportunity to win the game or tie the game, any of that stuff, it was just disappointing.
I think of it like this: the game is very different if we kick a field goal, simply the first red zone 4th down attempt that we went with him, and now it's a totally different outcome. Remember, it's 4th and whatever, it was like 4th and 2, I think it was. We did the zone speed option thing to the right, get tackle for loss. That's an easy field goal right there. That changes the flow. Now, in the end of it, instead of you having to say we got to score a touchdown, now we're just doing what? Playing for a field goal to tie it.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. But that's the Kenny thing of, he's winning though. That's all I'm saying. It's like, if we're just solely going to minimize it to, did you win or not? Well, we can do certain things to win, but I don't think that still tells the whole story between those two players, though.
We're talking about kicking field goals for ties. I mean, it's preseason. I don't want to get into all this, to be honest with you. But I'm just saying, like, the way that people have ripped on Kenny and what he was doing here, it's like, man, he wasn't doing that bad. He really wasn't doing that bad. In fact, he was doing good things for the team. But I don't think anyone wants to see that. It's whatever.
I like it, baby. I like it.
Mason did better things. Like we could talk about Mason, but that's not the interesting conversation, I don't think, is because everyone agrees on Mason that he balled out for us and he was really good.
What's going on with Kenny and Philly then?
I don't know.
Because I'm like, you talk about his game as if it's above scheme. But the reports that we hear from Philly are like that he's not doing well.
That's fine. I mean, I don't know he's in Philly now. It's whatever. It's not something I'm like that concerned with. Okay. All I'm saying is we could have won games with Kenny because we have won games with Kenny, and if there wasn't going to be an improvement in his game, then yeah, we move on. But maybe there could have with an Arthur Smith being here, and maybe that's where we're at with Kenny. Is I'll be honest, yeah, maybe he's not the Justin Herbert type or any of that, but
yeah.
Do you have to win games? That's the other thing.
When you play in Pittsburgh, no, because you got Coach Tomlin, you got T.J. Watt, you got this defense. Yeah.
So, yeah, it is what it is. He's not here anymore. I didn't want to get that deep into it, but
I like it though.
No, I really didn't.
I
but
like it, man.
Just seeing how it's just funny seeing how
the conversation is not going to go away.
No, seeing how and take Fields aside from it though. Seeing how the offense looked as a whole Saturday, it's kind of funny to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it is preseason. I get it. So like the real hay or the real analysis, the real breakdown on how the offense looks this year will be taking place there. But from what we've seen thus far, it's like, man, all right. I thought everything was going to be perfectly better once we get Kenny out of here. We get Mason out of here. Maybe not Mason.
It sounds like you still got a grudge about your man Kenny, bro. So your perspective is I'm trying to see negativity. And
I'm not. No.
What I'm saying when I say seeing negativity
really
is if it's
I
not
just had high
perfect,
expectations going into this game. I really did.
What I'm saying is if it's not perfect for you, you're going to revert instantly to negativity because it's not Kenny, is what I'm implying, because that's what you just essentially said.
No, because he wasn't perfect either. He wasn't perfect either.
That he was well just kept Kenny. And I'm looking and I'm saying
it was ugly
Kenny,
last year with him.
I'm saying to this, if Kenny was behind the offensive line that Fields was playing behind with these receivers, what does Kenny's stat line look like? Because I'm looking at him in Philly and his stats, the way that he played, my eyes watching him, I'm like, bro, at least Fields gave you the rushing attack, and that was still threatening, and it had your offense moving up and down the field. It wasn't pretty, but it was moving.
But, yeah, all right, this is the conversation we're having, though. Like,
I'm
two
with
guys
you,
that it's like, I mean.
So if both struggle passing and one can run better than the other, why wouldn't I not take the one that can at least run better than the one that can't? If they both are going to struggle passing, I'm saying.
What about the guy that's going to step up in the fourth quarter?
But it's easy to say that when you're playing for these Steelers.
I don't know if it is, though. I mean,
because when I'm watching Kenny in Philly, where is that at in Philly then?
These 2 preseason games.
I'm watching him miss throws. I'm watching him not be good. I'm watching him not take chances, be conservative in certain elements. It still is smart ball at times. But if we're going to compare him to Fields and we're going to comb through with the fine tooth, let's really do it then. I don't think we want to, because I think with Kenny it will shine on more of a negative light because he doesn't have the caveat of I can at least run to get out of this thing. At least with Fields, when it gets bad, we're like, bro, we saw him run.
That's fine. I mean, but that got him 8 and 28 in Chicago. I mean,
it's Chicago.
If
you put Kenny in Chicago, he's gonna do worse. Is what I feel.
This is we could continue to have this conversation. If we really want to break it down,
the reason why I feel Kenny would do worse in Chicago is because Kenny can't run, and that was why Justin Fields was at least able to have some success because he could run because his offensive line was not good. He couldn't see the field the same way. Kenny couldn't see the field all the way. But the caveat is he can run. That's why he broke the record, right? That's why he did have that. That's why Kenny, when it doesn't work, what does he do? He did it in Philly. He bailed out the bag. That's cool. When TJ Watt doesn't play, what's Kenny's record?
I mean, TJ wasn't out for a lot of Kenny's game.
So he got lucky then is what it sounds like, because we know for a fact the one who's affected wins and losses more than Kenny is TJ. Is that not accurate with his win and loss record?
Listen, I guess, man.
Is it not? You would say it. You would say it, right? TJ Watt's record when he plays versus when he doesn't play.
I don't know. I mean, Kenny leaves and Mitch is in there and we go 0-3.
Fair enough.
Mason
comes in and he looks better though, right?
Oh, he was awesome.
So what does that say then?
Listen, dude, I said we could have won with either quarterback, but I would have preferred Mason being QB1 going into this offseason.
So that still doesn't include Kenny, though. We're saying you said yourself you would take Mason over Kenny right now. You said you took it then.
I would give him the leaning. Yes, I would give him the preference going into this offseason. If we re-signed him and we had Kenny.
A lot of us wanted that.
Yeah.
If it was between them two.
Yeah, but
your argument isn't Mason, though. Your argument is Kenny.
Yeah,
so I'm trying to figure out how we getting that. Yeah,
we would have been fine with him. It's just, again, the way Kenny's talked about, versus the new guys being brought in. I guess Fields seeing how he played. It's like, bro, we're acting like a Fields is that much better than Kenny, or has that much better of a percent chance to win games if he's the starter over Kenny. It's like I don't buy it, because the name of the game is winning games, point blank period.
When you're in Pittsburgh, you're going to win.
Maybe.
Tomlin,
so
bro.
if Fields starts this year, like I'll put my hands up. I'm wrong on that take. Then
if you play for Coach Tomlin, you're going to win. That's the proof in the pudding.
Not Mitch.
He did win games here.
No, he
did win games
like
here.
2-6 or something.
That's 2 wins. He won games here. He
lost
won
more
games.
Lost more than won. Like if Mitch,
he still
if
won
Mitch
games.
started,
Doug won games here. Everybody wins when you play for Coach Tomlin, bro.
If Mitch started the full regular season, it's not a good pace that he's on.
All I know is if you play for Coach Tomlin, he's going to have you winning, regardless of any quarterback we've seen. Name the quarterback that has not won with Coach Tomlin as their head coach. You're going to win if you play here. Whether that is Ben throwing it however many times you need to throw it, whether it's Doug, don't kill us, whether it's at the end of last season, hey, Mason, man, you cooking a little bit, have a little bit more of that, Or if it's the Kenny approach, man, we're
There's
going
a
to do
reason we didn't-
everything to
we-
keep us
there's a reason
afloat.
we didn't stick with Mitch.
We're going to keep everything to keep us afloat. And then it's like, yo, have at it.
No.
I'm listening.
No, we didn't win with Mitch. Like, we didn't win with
All right,
Mitch.
man. Whatever you say, bro. Whatever you say, man. I think it'll be interesting to see how the rest of it plays out for Kenny away from Coach Tomlin. If he's everything that you say he is, then it should show up.
Hey, listen, maybe he's not, but I'm just saying, like, he was in a good spot here, and he might have screwed himself up.
Yeah, I'm glad you said screwed himself up, because remember, he was one who checked out. If he's all of these things, why are you tucking your tail and running? That's all I'm saying. But if you feel like he's that, then it should show in Philly or wherever else he goes.
Yeah, he might have screwed himself. Tito Good Vibes gifted a membership to the Don Hefe Kwan.
Shout out Tito with the good vibes. And the Don Hefe Kwan. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Mike Lang has joined the upper room.
Shout out to Mike Lang. And welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
AJ Martinez gifted a Mets membership to, I'm not sure.
Shout out to AJ being a rock star, paying it forward, whoever that individual is. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Richard Arbiza says Broderick was looking like Kendrick Green, SMH.
The tape was not good. The tape was not good, but he will bounce back, man. He has to. We need him to.
AJ Martinez says Najee is saving the Steelers again this year.
I mean, if he could run it like he gonna run it, we're gonna need it.
AJ Martinez says it's preseason. They just going through the motions at times. 3 gonna cook, 14 gonna cook. Najee, pay the man, the new king, 2-2, 1,500 this year. Here we go.
I like the optimism, AJ. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you.
He also says preseason flopping, play action every play.
We vanilla right now, baby. We vanilla, AJ. But trust me, man. When the time right, we're going to open this thing going up.
Square says bring back Mike Munchak. The O-line hasn't been the same since he left. Love the show. Deke, don't love me no more.
Dang.
God, family, health, yes indeed. Keep up.
Why you don't like Sequoia no more, man?
I don't know.
What's up with that? Y'all beefing?
He's got to bring up a reason.
Dang, that boy done said Deke don't love him no more, man. Dang, Deke a man of the people. Don't do him like that. And shout out to Munchak. Munchak, where is Munchak right now? He's just chilling, ain't he? Yeah. Shout out to Munch, though.
I'm too saucy for you. He says, I guess they put them guys through the ringer for them to be hurt like this. Coach T said, we going to work you till you can't work no more.
Let's see, man. Who are the guys that are currently hurt for us? Peyton Wilson got the concussion. Jalen Warren with the hammy. Herbig with, what they saying, what? Upper body situation. Troy with the knee. Beanie Bishop dealing with something, but Coach T didn't specify, but it doesn't seem like it's anything significant. And Roman Wilson. We forget anybody? That was a 6, right?
Yeah.
I guess Highsmith, but I don't really feel like he's like hurt. Say it.
I skipped one. AJ Martinez says 31-17 Steelers in Atlanta. Russ 3 touchdowns and Najee 1 touchdown.
Man, shoot, I don't see why not. Let's go. And it'll be a homecoming for good old Arthur Smith, man. So I would like that a lot, baby. Heck yeah.
King Culture 618 says hashtag Spotify over Apple Music. Fields won against third stringers, unlike Uncle Russ.
Shout out. All right. I didn't get the beef over Spotify and Apple Music though. What's that about, man? Hey.
He's right. I will take Spotify over Apple Music.
I don't think I have Apple Music. I got Spotify, but Spotify is just for like. All right, maybe I'm about to show my age. Am I tripping? I thought Spotify was just where you get the day going. No, I'm thinking about Shazam. Never mind. Jeez. About to find the song. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, no, that ain't that one. Yeah. Spotify straight, though. Yeah, shout out to Spotify.
AJ Martinez says 2 is the future. He needs to watch Slash films.
Respect.
Tons of fun. I know it's preseason, and Yins will tell me to relax. In the words of Will Ferrell in the movie Other Guys, you shut up. I'm so effing scared right now. You shut up.
Hey, no, I get it, man. I get it. Once you see it, it does like stick with you a little bit because you saw it. It can't happen. It's put on tape now. But just the goal is, man, whatever you see in this time of year, you don't want to see that come September. And whatever you see in September, you don't want to see that happening in October to November, and so forth and so forth. So the hope is the same way last year, the worst we saw Broderick look was in the preseason. The goal is hopefully that'll be a similar case this year, that Broderick won't look any worse than, how Saturday looked, man.
Mike Hood, maybe I just ain't smart like that English. We're going to be fine. Leave Jones alone. He'll be fine. Trust the process. And when we get a 53, we'll know we good. Salute. Thanks for the content, Moats.
Hey, no, salute you, Mike Hood. You already know it's major love over here, baby.
Let's see.
I like he said, man, like my English. He liked that English. Shout your English out, man. Respect to you.
Shay Barton, I don't know if you watch QB School.
QB School, yeah.
But he, in my opinion, is fair, and he thinks last week's sacks on Justin were Pickens' fault.
Okay.
He was read 1 or 2 and can't mess up.
You talking about, was it JT O'Sullivan, man? Shout out to JT. Now, he be killing it, man. I know he has done a ton of work on Phil's, man, in terms of reviews, breakdowns on him. Since he came into Chicago. But I get what he is implying with it. It's kind of like on defense when we say if a guy gets beat on a double move, it's not the DB's fault per se. It's more so the guy who was rushing or the blitzer. You got to win your one-on-one. You got to come home so that way this guy doesn't have to worry about that. In theory, he's kind of saying that. It's like, man, if Pickens is read number 1 and it's a 2-man route or whatever, and it's like, yo, we're anticipating you being the guy that's going to come open right here and you don't, then yeah, if I got to hold this ball longer now and I got to go through this progression and we know that there isn't a real other option, then that's why he's trying to say is that. But I get it. But that's going to be a tough sell, that's all. It's going to be a tough sell, kind of like when your DB get beat on the double move and they're like, yo, it's really the pass rusher fault. No matter how much the football guys will say that, we know who's getting crucified on every sports show and all on social media is going to be that DB because he got beat on the double move. So, yeah, like I said, I get it, but that's a tough one.
Adrian Martinez is the con man being con. I asked the girl out once. I don't want to wait or beg later. Aiyuk, hasta la vista, broski. The Degler, the 5'5", X1 Concepts, the bro of bros, the Barbarian. Stan, Tito, LRB to the chat.
So let's talk real quick. Can we take that approach with Aiyuk if we're the ones who are asking for him to come here and pick us?
At some point, yeah. At some point, you just say, all right, make it decision. You got 24 hours.
He's talented as heck, though. Productive. We need it.
I think you just say you got 24 hours, my man. 48 hours, whatever timeline you want to give him.
Whatever happened to, like, if we could get to the trade deadline, that is because the Aiyuk is just too loud. I feel like he's made it really loud. But I'm just like, yo, would that change anything if it was it happened once week 1 happened? Like, it took the Niners seeing him actually sit and say, bro, I won't show up today. And then they're, all right, cool, he's for real. Now listen, would that change any perspective with it? I don't know if that's the case because I still feel like it's more of an Aiyuk thing than a Niners thing. But
what's that? If he shows up week 1.
So say it's like for the Niners, they're still waiting. They're like, yo, we're going to get this deal done. But they don't believe the deal won't get done until week 1 when he actually decides that, hey, I won't show up and play. Would that be too late for us, per se?
Okay. Like
because we're the ones still waiting, obviously. We know we're on the hook. Aiyuk is winning regardless. He's either going to win and take the deal in San Fran or he's going to win and get the trade and get paid here. But he's good either way. The Niners are trying to, whatever it is with how they want to back in guarantees and stuff like that, that's them trying to win. But for us, we're kind of just on the hook with it and just waiting.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess technically would be open at any point, but I'm just getting tired of it. Like, pick a team, dude. Like,
He yo-yoing us, bro.
like AJ's
He's
kind of
yo-yoing
right
us,
here.
man.
It's like, I mean, you want to be a Steeler or not? Like, if we handle players like that in house, they're gone. The players,
Deontay's a prime
we'll
example
say the
of it,
players
man.
like, or at least the players that act like this in house, they're gone. It's
Yeah.
like, so yeah, why we placating to people that aren't even here, like that?
And willing to break the bank in terms of 28, right? 28 mil, I think that was the number, or was it? Because I don't feel like we crossed the 30 threshold just yet.
No.
I feel like we were in that like 28ish range.
Yeah. AKM, Zach Frazier will be an all-pro by his second season.
Hey, man, stay healthy, produce, be consistent. Why not?
Let's get you, though. Belichick believes problems are bigger than Russell Wilson. I think it's really offensive line and the running game.
You saying that's what Belichick said?
Yeah.
I'm probably just looking at saying it's more one-dimensional right now. And if you watch this game, I think the big, easy takeaway is O-line got to play a lot better. Whether we talking pass protection, keeping Russ and Fields clean, or run blocking, getting some more movement up front. We didn't create a lot of movement up there, and that's, definitely one of the things that we want to see a better version of. Yeah. It's a tough matchup, though. You know that, too.
Let's get you, Dub. Herbig definitely learned a lot from James Harrison.
Shout out to Herbig. Shout out to D-Bo. But also shout out to TJ as well. I know they got the clip, Herbig working with Debo. He going to get a lot of that credit, man. But Herbig, man, when I tell you this dude follows TJ, man, he is his understudy. Them dudes putting a ton of work together, man. Yeah, that's a big reason why I'm high on Herbig too, man. Like, this dude, he keep looking good. Keeps flashing, man. To give him an opportunity. He keeps flashing, though. And he was going up against a starter also, Pro Bowler.
KJ Shadow. Context was on boys trip and got back into Cali at 11 and was at the gym till 12 watching tape and breakdowns for both games. Now at work since 5 in and out of the convo, but Herbig can sit preseason with the big dogs.
Shout out. KJ, bro, you are getting it, man. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you for all that, man. And we definitely appreciate the support as well, man. You sitting Herbig this last one?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Serious.
I mean, he been balling, bro. He put together the preseason you want to see from him. Back-to-back games, doing it right. Yeah, I ain't tripping on it. Let Julius, let Jeremiah, let's see. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank on my third dude real quick. Where are you? Nope, that might be it. All right. Yeah, that's it. Cause I mean Jacoby, but he plays both. But he's been more of the inside the past couple times.
Tons of fun. The problem I have with Dan Moore is if he is the best OT we have, we are in trouble on multiple levels. We don't feel comfortable with him starting, and that's why they drafted offensive tackle first in the last 2 years.
Hey, and I'm not against that at all. But at the same time, just because they're drafted there in terms of the first round, they still have to play better than what we are currently seeing. And that's my only thing. I don't feel like Dan Moore, or I don't feel like we should feel confident if Dan Moore is our best tackle or best offensive lineman. Nah. But until one of those two guys are playing at a higher level, more consistent, I just think that if you just take him off solely because those two guys are first rounders and the draft was with the intent of them replacing him, but they're not actually better or playing better at that time, then I think you're only going to do more damage than you're going to do good. So that's my only thing with it. But I'm not disagreeing with you in the sense of, yeah, we would be in trouble if Dan Moore is our best tackle, especially when you bring in back-to-back first rounders, man.
We got Ashley Thomas. How can either of you QB be how could either of the quarterbacks be evaluated with this O-line? There were no excuses for Fields last week, who played with the same O-line and who had showed similar flaws, but Russ gets the benefit of the doubt.
So shout out to you first off, Ashley, for rocking with us. Shout out to the super chat. I think I would basically look at it like this. With Fields, the reason why I give Russ a little bit more benefit of the doubt than Fields, number one, is Fields has been practicing this whole time. He's been healthy this whole time. He's been behind all these units. He knows what it is. He knows good and bad. Whereas with Russ, this was literally his first full week of practice. And then it was come out here and play in this game, but you got 4 series. And in the midst of those 4 series, we saw our first round pick from a year ago getting manhandled on multiple plays that did have big time negative effects on Russ's ability to do his job. So that's the reason why, from my perspective, I give him a little bit more benefit of the doubt versus Justin Fields in that context. And then when I think about just the quality of opponent, when Russ was out there, it was more of starters and just a couple of 2s. Whereas when it was Fields, it became more 2s and 3s. So when I'm just taking all of that into my evaluation, that's kind of how I look at it. What about you, man? Why does Russ get the benefit of the doubt versus Justin Fields from you, man?
No, I think it's just because it's Russell Wilson. It's not.
That's what it is.
It's. I mean, I'm not saying Russ's performance in these first, in his first game, these 4 series, was better than what. I think it is because Fields put the ball on the ground. But take that aside. Let's say Russ's 4 series against the Bills versus Fields. Was it 2 series against the Texans? 2 or 3 series? I think it's maybe you lean Fields. But if this is the conversation we're having and how close it is in preseason right now, like you're going with Russ. I think the interesting part of Fields in this mix is whether or not he could beat out Russ, and what Fields did in that Texans game. I think what Fields did in this Bills game is just it's not enough. Because Russ was always going to get the preference going into week 1 for the regular season. Because I don't think the conversation. We're not comparing. I guess in a way we are, but now
they're not. I was going to say we're not starting point.
Well, I was going to say we're not necessarily comparing preseason bodies of work here. We're talking about like who's going to be the starter. Yeah. But I guess in a way we can do the preseason bodies of work because I think Fields went stock down in this Bills game, whereas Russ steady. I guess you could say Fields was steady in the Texans game, but when you combine that with this Bills, it's like stock down plus Russ being in the league for 13, 14 years, being a Hall of Fame. It's just I think it's too much for Fields to overcome.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like Russ, even in this competition, has always started out with a second or third level above where Fields was at, solely because of his full body of work, what he's been able to accomplish, and because this isn't something that is easily done. I mean, if we really talk about the franchise caliber QBs or the guys that are proving that they can do this thing for a decade plus, there aren't a lot of quarterbacks walking this earth that have shown that they can do that. It's more quarterbacks that fail than have the Russell Wilson type career. And with Justin Fields, a very, very high-end draft pick, higher than Russ and higher than Kenny if you think about it. He still has legitimate questions on if he can develop into what Russ was, whether that was in Seattle or even last year in Denver. But there are a lot of quarterbacks that have not lived up to that. And I think that that's also, like you said, man, why Russ who's gonna always have this part of like, yo, Fields, you got to do something almost like insane back to back to back to catch what we've already seen from him because of that. But he got one more game though, man. And once the regular season hits, to me, I don't think it ends. I just think a scenario now we're gonna get full bodies of work from Russ. That first month of football, we're not gonna have the conversations and it be the benefit of the doubt like how it is right now if it looks like this. I don't think that's the case, man. I think everybody, including Coach T, will be looking at Justin Fields like, yo, you ready? It's about to be your turn, and see what you can do. And if neither one of y'all can do it, Shador, hey, need you to fall in the draft just to where we're going to be at, all right? But we're going to see, man.
Fair and Bradford, media crazy for putting so much into the preseason. 77 needs to be careful. That's a bench-worthy performance.
Respect, but it is preseason. It's just preseason, babe. But yeah, Broderick, don't put no tape out there like that, man. That bad tape. Don't put that out there.
Louis G says, get him Moats.
Get him out. What'd I do? Nah, Louis, don't get me. I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling.
AJ Martinez says, I could run in New Mexico, but not in Philly.
Shout out to New Mexico. I don't get it. All right, but I like it, though. I like it.
Hollywood 931. I don't think that we are taking in consideration that we just had joint practices with the Bills just days before. Hence, neither team reached the end zone.
Nah, that definitely is a part of it. But I also think that was why both teams were a little bit more vanilla because of their ability to actually show a little bit more in practice where it is it's a controlled setting. You don't have to worry about your quarterbacks taking shots, certain receivers taking shots either. I think that in that practice on Thursday, you saw a lot more of that type of stuff. Whereas, like you say, you get to the game, and yeah, we done already killed each other a little bit this day. Man, this is what we on right now. But there's also familiarity there as well, man. All right, we missed a couple too, man. Shout out to AJ Martinez. He says we going 0-19 with Kenny. I think that was when we was having our debate about Kenny and his success, and then we also had. Nope, I think we're good now. Caught up, yes. No, my bad. Swayze TV, that's what it was. He says Kenny is the worst QB in the league, Deke, and he said it to you with all caps.
Fair. Louis G says Kenny hasn't completed 2 passes past 10 yards. Come on.
Yeah, we over-exaggerate, but you know that's how it goes on whenever we have a debate.
AJ Martinez says, I'm in the darkness right now. Yikes. I had to remove a super chat because I'm out of hand. The standard is so sad. Bring in Duck's famous girlfriend.
Who's Duck's famous girlfriend? I don't know who famous girlfriend
she's
is.
A country singer.
Shout out to the quarterbacks and country singers then. All right.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
This is like a thing for real.
Yeah. Famous country singer.
Okay.
Tons of Fun says we didn't win with Trubisky.
Okay.
AKM has joined the upper room.
Shout out to AKM and welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
AJ Martinez says, I agree with Deke. 1 or 2 wins isn't a winner in the Berg. I think Deke is thinking about winning quarterbacks.
Respect, man.
AJ Martinez says, Najee is our only offense and possibly 3-14.
30. What about Jalen? Jalen gonna love? Move don't get no love? Come on, man. We got some options. We got some other guys.
I'm too saucy for you. I bet Moats was happy that the Bills won. We know where his loyalty lies. LMAO.
Hey, man, I ain't know we was keeping score. It's a preseason game, man. It's preseason. I'm happy every time we win. Okay? It's preseason.
Steel Nation on fire. James Washington has been cut from the Falcons. Should the Steelers look at him? No.
You ain't feeling no James Washington no more?
That's over. No.
He had a run here, bro.
That's over.
He was on the cusp. It was like, yo, it's about to be time, and it never happened. Wonder why he was cutting Atlanta, though. Playing bad or depth? Yeah, the chat not rocking with him either, though. They say, nah, we good.
AJ Martinez says, I only listen to music on YouTube. LOL, the commercials suck.
They say you gotta get that the premium joint. I think YouTube Premium got no commercials, man. But yeah, they gonna hit you with them ads. That's facts.
AJ Martinez says, our time is now. Stop the BS. 3P talking KFC, the Chiefs. The only thing I want to hear is the Berg has now 7 rings. We absolutely have to stop KC. We are the world's only hope. Here we go. No mercy.
Let's go. I mean, we gonna get a chance, man. AFC, they can't get up out of there if we in there. Just remember that, all right?
Blood ties. Deke says Pickett is better than Fields because of his record, but Tua isn't better than Lawrence, even though Tua has a better record. Make it make sense. Is it a race thing, Deke?
Dang. Oh, race thing? Nah, man, don't do him like that. It definitely no race thing. Deke ain't that. Don't put that on him. I don't even like it and take that out the air, man. But how do you feel about everything else, though?
I'm not necessarily saying like Pickett is automatically better than Fields. I mean, I would say that up to this point, yeah. Like I would I would bet on him to win more games for us than Justin
'cause
Fields.
we already had that disagreement when Kenny was still here.
Exactly.
And I
No,
already knew
said
that.
But,
we were going to be against each other on that.
But
yeah.
I said they're in the like it's the same spot. Like these guys are in the same spot where we're talking about them competing for their NFL jobs right now, and there's a reason that we're at that point with both of them. It's not like Fields has the higher ceiling. Like there's no doubt about it. But up to this point, he's done too much like reckless stuff. There's been too much inconsistency in his play. Whereas at least Pickett isn't turning the ball over at that clip.
Right.
And if we can get a game close in the fourth quarter, like he is going to show up. Like that is one thing about Pickett's game. So I'm going to lean that up to this point. Now, if you want to tell me Fields can fully develop and be that guy, then there's no doubt I'm taking Fields over Pickett.
But we all waiting to see that. That's part of why Fields
yeah,
is
that's
here
my
now in
point,
Chicago.
and that's why from what I saw in this Bills preseason game, I'm like, that was a step back.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Low key crazy too when you as they're showing Caleb Williams highlights. You can see Caleb has already grasped that part.
Yeah, like still
Like-
even like Bo Nix, like a
yeah,
lot of these guys, they just
bro.
look more
It's like
comfortable.
they look
And
just
Pickett's got
under
his own thing.
control
Like,
out there,
he's got his
man.
own. I'm not necessarily even comparing Pickett to these other quarterbacks. Like because if I'm looking at what he's doing with the Eagles, I'm not like thrilled about like, oh man, yeah, Pickett's really lighting it up, or like he's really made this huge improvement. So it's just now that we have Fields here, you look at that, it's just like, damn, it's. I don't know. Yeah, will we finally see that ceiling from him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot of people trying to figure that thing out, man.
Are you taking Tua over Lawrence though?
Nah. But I don't get caught up in that, like the win-loss stat like that either. Though.
Lawrence wins though. I mean, that's like,
He doesn't win more than Tua though.
is it? I don't know. It's probably close. I guess Lawrence's rookie year is going to hurt his record, but they're probably around the same. Lawrence won a playoff game. I think Lawrence elevates his team as opposed to Tua. If he's running the system nice, like it's going to be good. But if things aren't going good, I don't think he's going to be able to elevate you to win a game.
But Tua also had his coach say not nice things to him when he was playing, so that counts too, right?
Are you talking about Flores?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's part of why for some quarter like the scheme does matter because Tua wasn't put in a good spot. So you're seeing with McDaniel like, okay, yeah, he can be a guy. I just don't know if that guy wins you Super Bowls. Like to what Tua's ceiling is. I don't know. Like we were talking about, we got this whole new NFL on our horizon here where not a lot of guys, not a lot of quarterbacks have Super Bowls to their resumes.
Somebody's going to be adding one unless Mahomes just keeps doing it. Somebody do
but if it ends up being like a Burrow or God forbid Josh Allen.
Whoa. Why has it got to be God forbid when it's Josh? But in the division, it could be Burrow, and that's fine.
God forbid Burrow.
Oh, my God. I'm about to say, what if it was Lamar? God forbid it was Baltimore. Man, not Buffalo. Buffalo, we're going to celebrate with them. It would be like our cousins winning, man.
If it's any of those guys, I think it just plays into the point. You need one of those guys. You need one of those top 10 guys, top 7, 8 guys.
Which version do you hope happens first then? Do you want it to be one of the top 10, top 5 guys winning it, and that keeps the hierarchy what it is?
Whoever
or do you
our
want to see
quarterback is,
a dude that is not in that class just yet ascend and get winning? Now the whole model is broken. Oh, you can't do it without that guy.
Whoever our quarterback is.
Okay.
Whatever class they're in.
Whatever class they in. No, man. I'm stuck with. I'm like, yo, I kind of like this. Like, yo, you got to be one of the higher ends to have a chance to win one, man. Because one of the little guys went when Nick Foles did, it was like, oh, hold on now. This ain't supposed to be what it's supposed to be.
Again, that's the problem with the Foles and Flacco situation.
They were the outliers. That wasn't supposed to happen,
like,
bro.
Those might be two of the best quarterback postseason performances ever.
No, realistic, man. Nick Foles,
You know what I mean?
That's BDN. We know that. And then, shoot, with Flacco, it's elite. You can't spell elite without, Or no. Yeah, Joe said he was elite. Yeah. Because he got paid like it. And then told the boys, y'all messed up. You should have paid me beforehand.
O'Shea, Barton, Moats. I think Daniil Hunter is better than Greg Russo. Hunter was killing Broderick last week. Also, Justin would have tied the game if it was the regular season.
Hold on. Oh, most I think Daniil Hunter. I said, but I could not find the chat, man. I was like, yo, where we at? Danielle Hunter is better than Greg Russo. Who said he wasn't? Man, Danielle Hunter's a killer in this league, bro. He's just underrated. He's been playing in Minnesota. Nobody talks about him a lot. Big time sack producer, man. He nice. Greg is like the super young light version of that. If Greg develops into Danielle Hunter, man, it's a great situation for Buffalo, baby. Promise you. But yeah, in terms of Danielle didn't kill. He got some of Roger, but he really killed Troy. That was the one where it really jumped off the screen. Was that matchup? But yeah, Roger's got to be better. He's gonna play better. Both of those two dudes were good. Javon Solomon, rookie, right? He's not their type of body types either. He even has success against Broderick. So like I said, man, Broderick's got to bounce back, man, and he will. And he says, also, Justin would have tied the game if regular season. I do agree with that, but I think that we would have been different in our approach if it was regular season also, man. But that's part of the preseason. It's like, yo, we're not playing.
Yeah, we should have won 4-on-4.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's like, yeah, it's preseason. Like, of course we going for it. But could we have kicked the field goal in that situation? And if it was a normal game in the second quarter, it's like, yo, Coach T typically will take the field goal right there. He's going to take the points. And he's going to let you be the one making the mistakes. You be the one taking the chance on all the fourth downs, going forward on twos and stuff like that, or going for 2-point conversions. And eventually you're going to make the mistake. We've seen that with Coach Tomlin. So part of me feels, yeah, if we were trying to win it, it would have been a very different approach. But that's not how the Steelers approach the preseason. From, like I said, my time with Coach Tomlin. It's traditionally, get out here, we're going to be competitive, but I want to see your one-on-ones. If at the end of the day the scoreboard reflects we win, great. But, man, when you're one-on-one, I want to see who out here can do more of that than the other guy.
AJ Martinez, I love this podcast. Thank you so much, Deke, for convincing 5-5 to start it. Love, respect, and blessings to all and your loved ones.
Shout out. Hey, AJ, shout out to you, man. And like y'all said, you heard what AJ said. If you know, you know. Podcast would have never happened if it wasn't for Deke. All right, so I don't care what none of y'all ever got to say, man. I don't care what none of y'all got to say. This don't happen without him right there, man. All right, so shout out to the homie.
Thanks.
Eddie you know T. It's the truth. You know it's the truth.
Eddie T YouTube channel says, I believe Russ needs to control the whole offense because he's elite when he has full control.
Now, that's real. And I think for Russ, that control will happen, but it's hard to fully get control when you've been sidelined. And even though he's been taking the mental reps, you'll see him. I know Deke has seen him, you know, when you go on the training camp and it's like, yeah, he's still kind of doing the motions and stuff like that, even when he's not in the play. But there's still a difference between being able to get out there, run it, and get those reps. And I think that that's what we started to see this past week. And I think what we're going to start to see more of as we continue on. Mentally, Russ has all of this. You're not going to find a dude that's studying this playbook and knows it more than Russ. But at the same time, it's the difference between knowing it in the classroom, knowing it in a walkthrough, and being able to execute it while you're playing at full speed with all the other variables at play. And I just think that for Russ, that's what we're hoping. He'll be able to get those type of reps over this week and next week before week 1 hits. And he'll look a lot more up to speed than, you know, kind of how everything was playing out right now. But he's going to be in control of this thing because that's where he's at mentally.
Mike Hood gifted 5 Moats memberships to Leah Warren, Dawson Brooks, Corey Hewins, Flowgrown 420, and Old Dirty Bird.
Shout out to Mike Hood being an absolute rock star at life, even though you pushed the panic button and said that the membership gifting was broke. It ain't broke, baby. We bike. So shout out to you paying for it, and to all those individuals Deke just named, welcome to the room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I almost got distracted, Deke. I seen the Niners on the screen. I'm like, yo, do we got an update on Aiyuk? Nope. It's crazy, bro. We ain't gonna never get this update, man.
Mike Hood, Moats' membership gifting is broke. Why won't it gift folks who are in the chat? That was the last one to chat.
Yeah. He sent that before it updated, and then it just popped back up, and that's why he was able to shout the people out. So we're good, man. We're good. Hey, that's not a me thing. That was a YouTube thing. Shout out to YouTube, though. They fixed it.
AJ Martinez, I would like to see more emotion from 3 and 2.
Oh, you said more emotion? It's all right. I'm back and forth with that specifically because it is preseason. I feel like for Russ, when he's out there for that little bit of time, I'm not tripping on not being over the top emotional when this is a dude that has played in real life games where their stakes are a lot higher. You know what I mean? So for some of those guys, it is a little bit more of a challenge to get to that point of, man, let me show this type of emotion, especially when I know I'm coming out in a couple of series. I don't get to kind of fully invest in the storyline of, am I doing well in this game? Did I have a bad play? Now we bounce it back, fourth quarter comeback, 2-minute drill, etc. But then the flip side, when I think of Justin Fields, I'm like, yeah, to an extent, I wouldn't have hated seeing, a little bit more of that from him, especially in the second half when he's trying to will the team to do better. But I could also understand from his perspective, man, he's been QB1 since he's been in the NFL. He doesn't understand or know what any other life is outside of being QB1. So he might look at it as, bro, like, I'm playing out here, but I don't have to get that type of like raw emotion type thing because it is preseason. But the caveat or the rebuttal would be, bro, this is an evaluation though, man, and all this matters. So can't hurt maybe to ratchet it up a little bit.
Johnny Utah, Deke hates checkdowns, but Kenny averages 4 yards a play. I get it, but let's be real. I love winning games more.
As long as we win, man.
I appreciate fourth quarter comebacks more than, I guess, yeah. I'm not defending Kenny Pickett's play as a whole, man. Like, I was not happy with a fair amount of what I saw from Kenny last year. But say what you want, game was close.
He wins.
Like I mean,
regardless, like I said, regardless of how they want to minimize it or maximize it, that still is his fact. Same way the fact for Fields is the legs, the fact for Kenny is he does win. So
for me, it's like, all right, I think that's at least bottom time. If that shit's happening,
yeah,
and we're losing games, like we were 7-4.
Yeah.
I don't know how far. I don't know what the Ravens' record was. I don't know how far out we were for
but we
the top seed of the AFC North
because we had a chance to run those next 3 games and be sitting at that one spot.
Yeah, we were legitimately 7-4. Mm-hmm. And were we about to go up in that Cardinals game or tied in that Cardinals game?
I think we were going to tie it.
And he gets hurt. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't know, man. Like it was just so incomplete with Kenny because of the injuries and all that stuff. Because there was so many games where he would get hurt and we didn't get to see it finish out. Jacksonville game, close game. Mm-hmm. He gets hurt. Mitch goes in. He's throwing picks all over the place. Kenny was in there. Do we win? Yeah, maybe because like the 3 or 4 weeks ahead of that. Close game, he clutches up in the fourth quarter. Yeah. We win. So but still, the first 3 quarters or the first half that Kenny was putting out there for the most part of last season wasn't cool. It was definitely not cool. And again, we got to see how thin that margin for error was in the Browns game when we lost to DTR. It's like, all right, something's got to start giving here. We fire Canada. Offense looks a lot better in the Bengals game. We only get a half in the Cardinals game with Kenny, and that was it. Steeler career over. So I don't know. Big mystery to me. But we're not going to get to see him develop here. He's in a worse spot with the Eagles. So, yeah, I will admit, Kenny's probably a quarterback that does need some good shit around him to develop and get to that spot.
Every quarterback needs
somebody, I get that.
Though. But, let's play.
I'm talking about compared to like a Herbert or some of these other guys. But
I feel like those are different classes that we're we're about to compare Kenny to what we were going to view as like, in today's NFL, some of the upper echelon of quarterbacks. Whereas we're still like, yo, you don't have to be in the upper echelon to still be dang good at this thing, man.
Yeah, but I said Kenny could get there. And
well, that's why AL was at you because
no, but here's the other thing though. Like, I think you can get there even if you're not as talented as like a Herbert or some of these other like a Brock Purdy. If you are in the right situation and you can develop right, build up your confidence. I mean, Tom Brady's a good example of that. Yeah. Tom Brady's a really good example of that. And I know it's an extreme example.
Dak Prescott got a good example of it.
Sure.
Right situation, maximize his numbers. I get you.
Sure. I think Kenny could have done that here. I'll put it to you that way. How about that? Because now, he's out with the Eagle. He's out in the wild now. Anything could happen. He was protected here. Anything can happen.
Did you say that man out in the wild now, bro?
He is, dude. Like,
why are you
Eagles
acting like
cut
this,
him, now
bro?
you're bouncing around. Who knows?
I always say Kenny out in the wild, bro.
Like,
He out in Philadelphia, bro. You better be careful out here, man.
If he stayed here and if it's just him in a Russ competition, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think Russ does. Yeah, they give him
If
the preference.
Russ missed this much time while Kenny was here, I think it's a very different conversation. We'll just unfortunately, like, we never would know, but it's like, it's very different if this is Kenny here because of the history. Whereas with Phils, he don't have no history here, man.
Right.
No.
And at least that's what I mean. At least you know the floor with you can win games. Like,
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that would buy him time.
Yeah.
You can win games.
You said you know he wasn't going to turn it over in those critical moments, which is a positive.
Yeah.
No.
I'm too saucy for you. Hey, Moats, remember now next time you miss a podcast, you have to put a $1 in the jar. We need
I do remember that, man.
Like, how are you on that field and off the field? LMAO, JK. Love you guys.
Hey, shout out to I'm too saucy for you. I do remember you bringing that up. Yeah. You see, I don't be missing no more. All right, I'm here. Okay? I'm not going to miss any more. I don't think. Maybe not. Possibly. But yeah, I'm here, man. All right, for the duration. All right, at least until after the Super Bowl. Then I'm going to try to talk my wife into letting me go somewhere where it's sand again. All right, but other than that, though, man, we here. We locked in. You know that.
James Saturn, how do we feel about our secondary as a whole?
Shout out. Dope little question right there. I like everything. Put it like this. I feel really good about our outside corners. I like my safeties. My question still remains at slot corner, but I'm getting a lot more comfort there. I just need to see a little bit more Beanie Bishop. I know what I saw from him in that first game. I thought that he tackled well. I love what I saw from him when he was in coverage in terms of zone versus man. Understanding the concepts as a whole. Understanding just the importance of, man, if you're in man coverage, bro, have your eyes on your man. This plays back-to-back weeks, man, from other guys where, yeah, it's just simple eye violations. He has shown a little bit more discipline with that. I wish we would have got a chance to see him this week versus Buffalo, but obviously got a little banged up. And so I'm hoping that, he'll be back out here versus Detroit. But I feel at least with him, it didn't look like the moment was going to be too big. And granted, he is a rookie. He's a undrafted rookie. So there are still going to be certain things that, might pop up as a negative for him. But what I'm thinking to myself is this. If I have everybody else around this defense that I feel confident in, right? Keanu Benton, Larry Ogunjobi, Cam Hayward. Heck, we rotate DeMarvin Leal in. Montravius Adams been playing really well. We talk about TJ Watt. We talked about Highsmith. We talked about Herbig, right? We feel really confident in JPJ. Shoot, we feel good about Dante Jackson. On the back end, we love Minkah Fitzpatrick. And heck, if worst case, we got Deshaun Elliott or he can't go all the way, man, bring in Casey. It's like, man, we still feel as a whole, 10 of our 11 guys are nice or really nice. So for Beanie, you don't have to be the hero. All you got to do is just don't kill us, man. Be a part of it. You don't have to be at all. I'm going to lean on my pass rush more than I'm going to put you in positions to fail, if that makes sense. Meaning, we're not going to have you out here having to cover an elite dude for 6, 7. No. TJ, this is on you to win this, man. Highsmith, this is on you to win this. Now, y'all are paid to win one-on-ones like it's preseason, so we don't got to do a lot of blitzing with you guys. Why don't I want to do a lot of blitzing? Because that's going to put Beanie in harm's way. But if I can rely on my guys up front to take care of business, now I can have my safeties at least having eyes on him because my linebackers in the interior, I feel, can run. Patrick Queen, E-Rob, Peyton Wilson, definitely get the concussion up off of you. But it's like I feel way better there than we did at the end of last season where our safeties were having to essentially, you got this guy, but watch this linebacker because it's a bad matchup here, man. We don't have that necessarily right now. So that's why I'm just kind of like, if that's all we got to deal with, and we know in 8 weeks what's on the back end, we got that stimulus pack waiting on us, that 401k waiting on us, Deke, Cam Sutton. So at least I know I still got hope on the way. And I think that's why I'm not all the way tripping on, like I said, the defense in the secondary, man.
The stimulus plan.
He waiting on us, bro. We know we need him. We need him. It's like, Cam, just be ready, all right? You're going to hit right when we need you, baby. But up until that, man, I think we can make this thing work, so to speak, with Benny.
AJ Martinez says, don't bring out the Diggler and Deke. He's crazy, the ladies say.
Hey, now. Don't make that taco meat come out. Hide your girl.
Push Momentum says, hey, Deke Moats, how are you?
Shout out
Hashtag
to
Mr.
Official.
Jack Murray Myers Jr.
Hey, salute Mr. Jack Murray Myers Jr., man. Salute that. Absolutely, bro. Say his name.
Fish Momentum says Ambition Live at Rivers, September 7th.
Oh, that's
8
coming
p.m.
up. That's what, 3 weeks. Is that Labor Day? No, that's the week after Labor. Yeah.
He also says we'll be there week 1.
Let's go. I'll be there too.
And says, love roller coaster music video coming soon. Hashtag the kid.
Shout out. Talking the ambition right there. I was like, oh, love roller coaster, Deke. All right. I like it, man. Shout out to the love roller coaster out there, official. Shout out.
That's it for the supers.
All right. Trying to make sure we hit everything. Oh, all right. I know what I wanted to end with, man. Did you have anybody that you wanted to shout out, man? Standouts from the game, man. Offense, defense, special teams, man. Anybody that caught you where you just like, you know what, man? We ain't really get a chance to discuss this guy all the way today, man, but I like what I saw from him right here, man.
Not really, to be honest.
Okay.
It's pretty dismal.
Deke said, "No, man.
Can't even say balls hit all of his field goals."
What about the punter, Cam?
Actually,
come on, bro,
yeah,
Cam. Yeah. He gives a 65-yard punt, bro.
That's good. Yeah, you could say him.
We almost had a safety off of that one joint too. Oh.
Yeah, you could shout him out. That's fine.
So yeah, shout out to I see Mark Robinson pulling up. I see you, Rod Dollar. About to say that's one of the dudes who was on my list. Mark was hooping out there. Yeah, just racking them up. Yeah, if you want feeling that one.
It's just that. I mean.
There's a lot of run game.
That second half. Yeah, I was gonna say that second half defense
game,
just wasn't really good as a whole.
Like I said, I wasn't a fan of it as a whole, but I did like what I saw from Mark specifically. Like I thought that he was playing really well against the run, getting stuff on the ground. But as a whole, yeah, we definitely want to keep them.
I'm seeing some Trice in the chat.
Shout out to Corey. Okay, shout out to Corey. Let's get it. Yeah, drop it in the comment section, man. Who are the guys that stood out to you guys, man? Like I said, we didn't talk Nick Herbig. Mark Robinson. I know I have pulled up on Dan Moore. Zach Frazier, I like what I saw from the young boy. We obviously know this was his first start. More than likely, he will be starting week 1. And like I said, unless something changes with Herbig, man. But I thought that Frazier looked good again. I thought that in terms of snaps, they were consistent. Run and pass blocking were consistent. My only critique would be once he gets to the second level, I would like to see him sustain those blocks a little bit better. That was part of what we said coming out of college when we said him versus Jackson Powers. We said, man, I just thought that when JPJ, the offensive line from Oregon, would get up to the second level, I thought that he sustained just a little bit better than Frazier. And I thought that kind of popped just a little bit with these linebackers trying to climb up to the second level. Thought that was part of, the negative there. But as a whole, man, I like what I saw from Frazier, man. Okay. Bust down brought up DeMarvin Leal again. Yeah, he was still making plays. That interior D-line, man, yeah, all them dudes is getting after it a little bit, man. Okay. And then Rob Lightfoot brings up the homie Naj. All right. What about Darius Rush? Had a nice PBU down the grass, man, late in the game. Making plays.
Yeah. Is it the play I'm thinking of here? X-Concept says, I like Rush. Just want him to get his head around when in coverage.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But I say that was, like I said, make the play down the grass, though, man. Don't panic. PBU, it was good. And then we had, I think my last guy was Killebrew. Because he got the pick and he was getting tackles on special teams. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, maybe you just shout out Mitch on that one.
I don't do my dog like that, man. That was a great play by Killebrew, man. Killebrew sitting back there, nice disguise in that 2-high shell.
Holy
I don't know how Mitch ain't see him back there the whole time, but he just couldn't see him, man. Shout out to Killebrew, man. Yeah. If you catch the ones they throw to you, bro, you be all right, man. Just catch the ones they throw to you. He for certain threw that one too.
Yeah.
It'd be like that. Shoot, I like it then, man. I like it. All right. Oh, and then Official Momentum had one final super. He says, Deke, Moats wanted us to suffer. # Bills Mafia. Don't do me like that. Y'all ain't seen nothing Bills related. I just been vibing out and chilling, okay? It's preseason, man. The same way last year it was just preseason. This year just preseason, man, all right? So it's all good, man. It's all good. In fact, we sent Mitch out there. Just remember that. We kept 17 over there. We said, oh, you chill. Mitch go out there. That's love. I got to see my JMU guy, Ben DiNucci, as well. Shout out to DiNucci. Yeah.
I think they were just more protecting Allen.
No. It was a
protecting
courtesy.
The Steelers.
They said, yo, we know it's a lot of women and children here, man. It's like family night or something like that, man. So you know what? Let's make sure everybody has a good time tonight. Josh, you sit on the sideline. Mitch, you go out there. And then DiNucci. So it was good, bro. I liked it. The outcome should have been a little different though, but it's all good, man. Maybe next time. Actually, no. Maybe next preseason, next year. We'll go next year.
All right.
I like it, then, man. I like it. Nah, man, I think we are good. So, with that being the case, man, hopefully y'all enjoyed today's show. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button one final time for the culture and subscribe. And until next time, baby.
Peace.
Let's get it.